crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a Penske fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 953 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody today, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you be. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, this is, of course, day 2 of the NFL draft today, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That is going to start at 7 o'clock tonight, which will cover rounds 2 and rounds 3 of the NFL draft. So much going on in the city, so much going on here in the Burg, guys. Glad to be back. Glad to talk about everything that went down last night. Looking forward to talking about everything that's going to go down tonight and tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is rounds 4 through 7. That'll start at noon tomorrow. So if you were going to be keeping up with the draft throughout the weekend, that is how it is going to play out tonight, 7 o'clock. Rounds 2 and 3, 4 through 7 tomorrow at 12 o'clock at noon. Interesting so far, but I want to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of complaining and moaning and bitching about everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, this is kind of what we set in to do in the first round. Even with the, yesterday on the poll, heavily it favored the wide receiver position, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, I think that this was a good move. And I'm going to start by saying this. I'm going to say that RB, he did guess it right on the head, and I'm going to have to place him in a category now because not only did he nail this, which I thought was pretty awesome, that he was able to pick this as we all made our picks for who we thought was going to be the first round pick for the Steelers. But also, you got to remember RB over the football season, he did win the football pick'ems. So,
yes, he did.
I mean, we might have to put RB on. Remember the old Win Ben Stein's Money?
Yeah.
Well, I turned volume down just a hair. I think we're going to have to put something together where we have viewers that want to take on RB, because I think that he could be difficult like Ben Stein, as it was to win Ben Stein's Money. Again, right on top of Mike. He nailed it. Of
Yeah.
course, our number one pick is the guy with the most difficult name to pronounce. And
Yeah.
I thought that as soon as it happened, I thought, you know what? This is despite me. This is despite me. I don't care what's going on. The football gods looked down at me and said, you know what? F this guy. Let's get the guy with the hardest name. So I wrote it down. I wrote it down, Mike, in different sections. So when I go to say it, I can read it as I say it until I get used to it. So Ehokniker. Ehokniker is how you pronounce the guy's name. Of course, Mike, he's a monster. I thought it was Broderick Jones when they drafted him, to be honest. And I'm also going to be honest when I say this. He looks like he's the type that's going to tackle Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Mike, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm loving the pick. I went to bed happy, woke up, saw the drama surrounding the pick. Still like the pick. I think even in my last mock draft I posted, I went over to the 2dumyinzers.com to double check. And yes, I even mocked. I also picked Max Ionacher to the Steelers, albeit in a trade down situation. But I had it too. I know in the show I thought we were going to get Omar Cooper Jr. I was just thinking the way the board would go, and they were leaning receiver. But RB, I give him the credit. He officially called it. And there's only like a RB and maybe Matt Williamson, who is a former NFL scout who does a lot of Steelers stuff. Those are the only two people I've heard the whole pre-draft process talk about. This should be the guy. This should be the guy. So credit to RB, because not a lot of people were talking about Ionacher to the Steelers.
And not only did Ionacher come to the Steelers, Mike, we got him in that 21st pick. A lot of people wondering what was going on. Were we going to scoot up? Were we going to go back? All kind of speculation going into the draft, all the way until the draft was made, until the draft pick was made at 21. And some things will obviously happen beforehand. We'll get into all that today. We'll get into the first round of picks. We'll talk about our new first round draft pick, Mike. And here we are again, still going offensive line as the plan started about 4 years ago. And it really felt like, it felt to me like Broderick Jones. Now that you're looking back in hindsight, it feels like we were kind of running in place there, which is unfortunate because that was the starting point with the building of the offensive line. And the fact that, he's the longest tenured piece in there, and he's probably going to be the piece that isn't going to make it ultimately when it's all said and done. So again, it feels like you missed a year there somehow because he wasn't able to get it done. However, I'm still hearing that Broderick Jones is down 50 pounds. All these things about Broderick was ultimately what led to the pick that the Steelers made to get Mad Max. I'm going to just call him Mad Max.
Yeah, me too. I think that's the perfect nickname for him. If you go watch his game, he does play a little mad. He has some violent hands. I'm sure we'll get into stuff he needs to work on and stuff. But I went back when RB was talking about and watched some of his film. I went back again and watched the whole cut up of him against Texas Tech and what their edge rusher went number 2 overall to the Jets. They had some good matchups. It was like a back and forth battle whenever those two went up against each other. Max won some. The other guy won some too. So there's potential there with this guy. You can see it. It oozes off the game film. Not a sexy pick, but, like a lot of people are saying, the Eagles may have did the Steelers a favor, but only time will tell. Like we always say here on the show, you don't know how these picks pan out for at least 3 years.
And some people, Mike, there were tackles that were drafted before him, but some people are saying that Max could possibly be the best tackle to come out of this draft, of course, from Arizona State. Big guy. And again, I can't wait to watch him play. Looks like a monster, Mike. And I do know that as of 10:30 this morning, Max has arrived at the Pittsburgh airport. He is in town. You're probably going to see him paraded out on the stage at some point today if you're there. And if you are there, you might see our Derpy. Mike, our Derpy is on site. I did just get word that he touched down. The Eagle has landed, if you will. And it's funny because, so Derpy, they took the approach to take the bus down, which a lot of people did, I find out, for the draft. And the thing about Derpy, where he lives, he chose to get on the bus in Newcastle. And I thought, wow, we'll get close to the city and hop on a bus somewhere there, and then go down. And he got on the bus in Newcastle. So I'm pretty sure it took him about 5 or 6 hours to get to Pittsburgh.
Right.
So Derpy is in the house. We'll be expecting to hear from him real soon. Chop was down there last night. He had a great time. It looked amazing. Let's throw this picture of Chop up just real quick. This is Chop at the draft yesterday. I'm just going to just share a real quick picture.
Give me 1 second here. Let me set the scene.
All right, then right here we're going to see our
We have
new
people
one of
there.
our newest member, Jim Chop, of course, our draft specialist.
Yes.
Right here with a selfie. There he is. The pick is in. He got his
made
hat
it,
on.
baby.
He's ready. He was there yesterday all day. He says he's spent. It was warm. It was nice out. Got nice weather.
Yeah.
That takes it out of you if you're out there. Plus, if you're not willing to pay $27 for something to drink every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So again, he says it took it out of him. But again, with 320,000 people there, that's no surprise, Mike. That is to be expected. And of course, the big news is this: the Pittsburgh draft broke the record. We said, how are they going to fit all these people into our little tiny city here in these little crevices, Mike? But Pittsburgh passed Detroit from the 2024 draft, who did have the record for attendance for one day, 275,000. The Pittsburgh draft, of course, had 320,000 people. That's right, the bird representing well. Of course, you can't take all the credit. Wonderful people from all the cities around the nation had made their way to the Steel City for the draft this weekend. So we just want to say welcome to you. Again, no beef this weekend. Maybe for a couple teams, but we'll get into those teams shortly. So much, guys, to get into today as we go into night 2 of the draft, where it's going to be picks 33 through 100. And the Steelers, Mike, they do have 4 picks in that range: 53, 76, 85, and 99. Mike.
Who, man, are they going to use them all, or are they going to trade up? That's what we're going to see, because, it was costing some capital, just a decent capital, just to move up 1 pick in the first round. Is it going to cost that amount to move up in the second round? Or is it going to be even heavier? Is it going to be a little lighter? We'll wait and see. I would have no problem if the Steelers just hang pat, draft 5 guys, or draft 4 guys in these next 2 rounds, get all 5 picks out of the top 100 and be ready to go. Because let's get some new, fresh talent on here. This is a brand new coaching staff. They want to put their fingerprints all over the roster. And what better way to do that than to use 5 picks in the top 100? Get 5 guys that could potentially start or contribute day 1. Why not go ahead and do it?
Absolutely. And again, at the end of the day, this is kind of what, listen, if they would have got Lemon, it would be a whole different story today. And at the end of the day, nobody even really expected him to make it to where we were. And then, of course, we were on the phone with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody heard the story. We're on the phone talking to him. Bro, we're going to draft you next round. And all of a sudden he says, wait a minute, why is Philly calling me?
Fuck! So hang up, Mackay! Hang up!
So we find out that Philly leapfrogged the Steelers with a trade with Dallas, who was initially had the pick right ahead of us. So they just switched positions back and forth. They landed at number 20 and was able to grab Mackay Lemon at that particular time. And again, a lot of people they kind of got excited right then. It let them down the most, Mike. But people that knew what we were kind of needing going in, were you have to get this left side of the line. Something. And if you would have taken a wide receiver, so you're already coming back. Maybe we could have got Max in the second round. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Mike, myself going in, who thought we needed some offensive line early. We need some good guys that we're going to be able to plug in pretty fast. And again, I'm sure today, Mike, they may be aggressive. I'm reading that they may be aggressive and try to trade up today to try to get some of this back end of the wide receiver talent that might have bled through. That some people are saying, no, they're not first, but they could go second. I'm seeing a couple of these guys on the board still, Mike. Of course, I know that you don't like Denzel Boston, but also a few other players are in there that is available at the wide receiver position. And again, we have 5 picks today, so we could do something to make it happen. And we have like 1,500 picks tomorrow, so we could bundle something up together to help move along. I'm thinking that's going to be the case, Mike, because again, they don't go again till what number 53.
53, and you can maybe quote unquote maybe reach on a Ted Hurst in that situation. Maybe a Chris Bell who's worked rehabbing his way back from a knee injury. If he didn't have that knee injury, would have probably been talked about as a first-round pick. And the gap from people like Mackay Lemon, Omar Cooper Jr. down to your guys that are available right now, like Bernard, Bell, Hurst, maybe Brazel, depending on how you evaluate Tennessee receivers, because none of them really pan out in the pros. It's not this huge gap the way it is on the offensive line. Like your first round offensive lineman to your second, third round offensive lineman, especially at the tackle position where we need help, it was a huge talent gap. So to get tackle 3 or 4, depending on your rankings, over a wide receiver 3 or 4, might in the long run be the better value pick. I know I liked the pick when we got it. I would have been okay with Makai Lemon. I was okay with this pick right here. I think all things being equal, Ian Anchor, like from what you read, he has the higher ceiling. So like I said, we're saying the Eagles may have did the Steelers a favor, but we won't know for another 3 years how well it's going to pan out. So you don't know. But remember, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, "Oh, we didn't start Broderick as a rookie. Oh, we didn't develop him. Look at him; he's a bust." This is a brand new coaching staff. There's multiple offensive lineman coaches now. And one of them, Evans, was a great offensive lineman for the Saints. So I'm comfortable with taking a guy who's a little bit raw and trying to mold him over a wide receiver who may be close to his ceiling as is.
One thing
It's just going to be first round picks all come down to your preference. Like we were saying yesterday on the show, like receiver, tackle, receiver in the draft, one of those 2 orders, you really can't go wrong. And that's what happened. They were trying to get the receiver, didn't work out, so they went to their backup option. They followed their board at that point, didn't panic to reach for a receiver, trusted their process. Like, hey, we got skunked. Let's go get the next guy on our board at a position of need and move on from there. So if they would have went out and got to Boston, that would have screamed to me like a panic pick.
A couple of things, Mike, about our new number 1 draft pick, of course, Mad Max. He is Nigerian. He was born and raised in Nigeria. He didn't play football until junior college. Never played football. So he's relatively new. So you would think that there could be certainly room to grow and get better for the young man.
Yeah, I was going to say, and someone who only started playing ball as a JUCO player and only been playing for 3 years, to be at a similar skill level as someone like a Fano, as a Freeling or a Blake Miller, that's not bad. That's actually really good. Like, you've never really played, and you're good as these guys who've been playing football their entire lives. And they all have stuff they need to work on, but I'd rather work on the guy who's doesn't have a whole lot of bad habits formed over years of playing football. And if you're only starting something and you're that good as someone who's done it your entire life, you'd like to think, okay, you have so much more room to grow.
And they say, Mike, that he has a natural athleticism too. So again, there's just certain people, we meet with people, we talk to people. You want to understand people, you learn people, and at the end of the day, there's something about the kid that we liked. I know that they were raving. The term "raving" was the term that they were used about Mad Max. So again, at the end of the day, Mike, there's not anything that we can do. We could have traded up with Dallas, but we didn't know Philly was going to try to leapfrog us.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, there's not much that we could have done at that point. You could say, well, if he would have been taking it 17 or 14, why didn't you jump up before? You just don't. That's what I'm talking about. The draft. You just don't know these things. So some things they happen the way they do, and there's not much. What was you going to do? Waste all of our picks just to jump up to a high enough number to try to get one? It's crazy. So that's
in Tampa.
And that's why, again, at the end of the day, Mike, I'm not upset about this pick. For one, this is something that we needed. For two, it's a good person to fill that spot that we needed. And three, outside of what you can control, you can't control. Yes, it sucks. Philadelphia, we're kind of pissy with them at the moment. We got the hockey thing going on, the draft thing. So, of course, Philly is Philly. But at the end of the day, you can't take anything away from them for pulling the move. If we would have done it to somebody else, we would have looked like, we fleeced somebody. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, Mike, you don't know. So we're on the phone. We're on the phone with the kid. Yeah. And they call and they pick him. So what do you do?
Well, we did that to Dallas. They thought Shazier was going to fall to them when we drafted him. He was on the phone with them. You hear stories all the time like, oh, yeah, so-and-so called me like, hey, be ready because if you're in this range – and you follow us, we're going to take you. Shit like that happens all the time. It just sucks when it's your team. I know people are probably going to say, well, we could have maybe moved up with Tampa Bay. reports like Tampa Bay said no. Once Ruben Bain fell, like we were not they were like we're not moving back. This is the guy we want. We're not going to move back. So that wasn't a trade option. Baltimore was never going to trade with Pittsburgh because they wanted Vega and they knew we probably wanted Vega too. Dallas trading with Philly. How often do you see division rivals who hate each other
the one
trade in the first round
that
together?
Is the one thing that stuck out to me, that it was a Philly and Dallas trade to do that. So
that right there, that's you don't see that coming at all. And Dallas was not going to take a receiver at that point. So you're thinking, cool, we got one of the guys we want is going to fall to us. So let's pre-plan and have everything ready to go. Something that no one saw coming. This took the entire NFL world by surprise that, Philly jumped up and also Dallas agreed to trade with them. Dallas probably knew who they were going to take, either going to take a receiver or a safety. It's just crazy that, two division rivals traded together. It feels like collusion against the Steelers.
A lot to get into, Mike. Let's jump into the second part of the of where we feel slighted as Steeler fans today. Of course, my pick, Mike, if we would have got the guy that I wanted, Vega would have been the guy. However, Baltimore, as you mentioned, was able to get him prior to us getting a chance at, I think, 14 Baltimore set.
Yeah.
So again, at that point, what are you even going to do? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. The people were really freaking out, but we're not. Listen, if you're like the Eagles, who built their team the right way, who built from the line out, you're able to make luxury picks like this and do the things that they do. Yeah. We're still in the position that we're trying to build the foundation of the football team. So, all those years that we were able to grab nice guys in the draft, that other people were saying, well, how'd you get him? They were sitting where we're sitting. So, I mean, there's a constant fluctuation in the league. It's up, it's down, it's over here, it's over there. And at the end of the day, I don't hate this pick. We need left-hand side of the line. Again, Broderick Jones down 50 pounds with no guarantees on what's going on with him into camp this year and into the regular season. I think this ultimately was good. And at the end of the day, also, what are you going to do? What can you do? Everybody's saying bitching and moaning about Lemon, but at the end of the day, what can you really have done different? I think that it was amazing that he was even there at 20 for us to even be able to smell him. But that's the way it plays out. Of course, Vega goes Baltimore. Baltimore takes the guard we wanted. Philadelphia trades to get Mekhi Lemon. When everybody started to get excited, Mike, now had he been taken at 11 or 15, this wouldn't even be a conversation. It was just the fact that we got leapfrogged. And at the end of the day, you don't know. It could have been any number of teams at any point that could have leapfrogged to do anything that we wanted to do. But yes, Philly is quite the villain right now. Of course, with our hockey team and being down 0-3 to those guys. Now this, I understand people have a natural anger, against the Philadelphia City and their sports teams. I get it entirely. But again, at the end of the day, we got something to fill a big hole that we're going to need. And again, you want to get that offensive line. It's all going to be together for a long time. This is the way to build it. Again, at the end of the day, I'm not complaining. Would I have liked to have Lemon? Yeah, of course. Would I have liked to have a lot of these guys? Absolutely. But this is how it played out. That's how the chips fell. And right now we have a damn good tackle that's going to come in, probably play immediately and be a big part of this football team. Yeah. And who knows? Again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of speculation that we may trade up aggressively today to get to the top of the second round and maybe get some of these targets that are still in there, Mike, that are names that's certainly been popping up on our board throughout this process of getting ready for the draft. So maybe everybody will be made happy by the end of the day. I doubt it, but at the end of the day, Mike, B+ is the grade that I'm seeing ultimately. Some people are saying we're the losers of the first round. I don't get that, because we went out and we got exactly what we needed. Yeah, we needed. How could you be a loser for getting what you needed? At the end of the day, teams at top, they tend to go for the best player available, even if they're not needed. Yeah. So again, it was what it was. It was day one. We'll be back at it today, Mike. 4 picks today. So we'll see what it yields.
Yeah, and here's the success rates on day one by position. Tackles or offensive linemen drafted at tackle position have a 73% day one hit rate. Wide receivers, 56.9. So you're a safer pick is to go offensive lineman than wide receiver in the first round. I don't know if that went in to their thought process, but it probably was. Like, the safer positions are tackles because you're really not counting on anyone to help you succeed at the next level. Wide receiver, you got to count on the quarterback and the offensive line. The offensive line, you just got to count on yourself. So that may went there too. And there's still plenty of good receivers in the draft, and I don't think you're going to find any good tackles in this draft. So this tells me Broderick Jones, those medical reports that they're trying to deny are probably true that he's not ready, and the new staff views Jones and Dylan Cook as at best backup pieces, as stopgap guys, maybe even swing tackle guys. So you need that position. Quarterback, wide receiver, or quarterback, cornerback, left tackle are the three most important positions right now in the NFL. So you got to get one of them.
A couple things here. We do got to get on the board. We're getting behind, but I do want to say this, Mike. We again, there are some options. Of course, Jeremy Bernard, also Denzel Boston. You know, some of these names that certainly have come up plenty during this process. They're still in there, so we'll see what they do today. You know, a lot of people expected them to be aggressive in the first round. Maybe it's going to be the second round that we might see the Steelers become a little bit more aggressive. However, Mike, at one point yesterday, they were emerging as the team. They were going to move up to. They were going to trade to the 15 spot with Tampa Bay. That ended up not playing out. So if that would have played out, I guess we could have got him. But it's all easier when you're looking in hindsight. Yeah. And finally, one other thing that I did want to say, I don't know where I put it here, so maybe I'll say when I remember it. But I did have a point. However, I am not going to waste any more time. We got to get to the board. We got to. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is draft day number 2, of course, of the 2026 NFL draft. Right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, guys, back at it today. It was again 320,000 people setting a NFL draft one-day record right here in town, guys. The Yinzerverse was going crazy, Mike, in Pittsburgh yesterday.
Yes, they were, man. It was a raucous atmosphere online, a raucous atmosphere down at the draft. I want to say it was a successful day one of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh, in the city, and for our Pittsburgh Steelers themselves.
Let's dig it on the board. I do want to say good afternoon, everybody. Steeler Freak John, I did get your message. Derpy he's on hold. We have him in queue. If you will, he'll be talking to us soon, joining us from the draft also. Tortilla says Iron Anchor. He's either going to be Mad Max or Iron Anchor. I know that because I'm not going to look at his name every time I want to pronounce it.
Iron Cocker.
Let's go here to Cody. Cody says, what it do? What it do, nephew? Always great seeing the Code Dog in the house. Cody says, this Mike probably mad we didn't get Drew Aller at 21. Of course, our boy Ty Simpson was already gone when we got the pick. Mike, a lot of people was talking about Ty Simpson being the pick for us, of course, being drafted by the Rams.
That was Ty Simpson to the Rams threw me for a loop.
Right here, Aaron Jade says, here we go, Steelers with the Rockets, baby. Now I'm ready for the weekend. You know this. Tyrone, he says, and Omar, I don't trust. Good afternoon to Aaron, Ty, Cody, everybody. John so far. Welcome to the show. Let's go here to Bingo. Winchester, always great to see you on the terrible board. He says this, I don't hate it, but God damn it, he absolutely has to start, or this is a pick waste. You know what? He more than likely is. The only thing I could see happening is him going, Mike, and possibly just maybe getting edged out by Dylan Cook because he's already been here. And again, the kid's a rookie and he still has a lot of room to grow. So at the end of the day, I think that he certainly could be in position to put himself in position to be starting early.
Yeah, he can be starting early. He can, because they said flat out he's going to be tackle. He is going to be a tackle. And, when asked about Fatano, they didn't definitively said Fatano will also be tackle because there was talks like when Fatano was coming out that he could, play tackle or guard. You put him at left guard, and then you can maybe hide Dylan Cook at right tackle. There's a lot of options for the line to go, or you flip-flop Fatano and Iron Anchor, Iron Core, Iron Cocker.
Mad Max. Let's go to, I do want to say good morning, good afternoon to Christine. Always great seeing Christine on the terrible board. Happy day 2 to you. Let's go to Ty. Ty says, Max, a Steeler. It is what it is. Embarrassing We messed up Lemon and got jumped. That's your guy. You should call the Panthers at 19. I mean, the thing is, if they would have, maybe the Philadelphia would have traded with who was ever
Yeah.
17. That's the thing. The draft it's a tough thing, and then people get upset and they attack each other and shit like this. But it be what it be. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What can you do now?
Yeah, we fall in love with the player. We fall in love with a position. When it doesn't happen, we logic goes out the window on draft day. In the week after the draft, it's when the emotions come out. That's what makes this whole process fun. And we have a celebrity joining us.
We got a celebrity in the house. Is it the Derp Dog? Well, thank you for that, Mike. I was gonna have him call in, but
I'm sorry.
Derpy is on the screen in front of you. Derpy is on site.
You're on site. Hold on. What's up?
Derpy. What's going on?
One sec.
How is it looking, Derpy?
Well, it's pretty packed, honestly. Right now they're setting a world record on the field.
And that was
for I guess Damar Hamlin's here doing it.
And the thing about Derpy, his commentary is always real choppy.
Yeah,
you never really know what he's saying. What Derpy?
All right, Derpy, we'll get back to you later.
So that's Derpy, everybody. He is down at the stadium. He was inside.
In and out.
He was sending me pictures. He's inside of Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium, and that was the thing yesterday, Mike. There were so many people that they actually started putting people in Heinz Field to go be able to sit down and watch because they were all the way to capacity outside the stadium. So they started pulling people in, heading into the stadium, and being able to sit down. Like again, 320,000 people, well over 250,000. As again, Mike, they broke that record. 275 in Detroit in 2024 was the previous record, and again, we blew that out of the water, Mike, by almost 50,000 people with a total of 320,000 over the weekend. Let's get back on the board. Lots and lots and lots of comments, things to get into today. Derpy's still asking me in the message that we could hear him. I don't even know if he's in here with us, but he's frustrating me already. Let's go to because we are so behind on messages. I don't want to get too screwed here. And he's over here sending me messages. Let's go right here.
I'll tell him I'll let him know when we need him again.
Yeah, please. Probably go mental. All right, let's go with this right here. Let's go, Christine. She says, "Thank you. I tried to prepare you, my friend." Mark Malone, always great seeing Mark Malone. Mark Malone says this is another Robustrous Jones pick. I hope you're not right. I mean, he looked like he could be related to the guy. They have the same body, the same size. They look generally similar. So again, I hope I don't see him tackling our quarterback anytime in the future. But again, he has the build of a left tackle. No two ways about it. He's like 20 feet tall. And the guy, so yes, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. A lot of people are mad. Somber says this, and I do want to say what's up to Somber. Always great seeing the Som Dog in the house. I'm going to scoot back a little bit just so I can find his message here. He says this, yo, I'm here for the drama. LOL. Let's go to Christine. You did indeed. That was what Ty is saying. The GOAT is in the house. Tyrone, my man, as always, great to see you. Christophus, also great to see you all the way from South Florida. Christophus in the house today saying the fact that we drafted Big Max in the first round should tell us that Broderick Jones is not healthy. That's exactly 100% what that tells me. And that tells me that the fact that they used their number one to grab that position because Broderick isn't well, it's probably a lot more further down the road than we think that it is when it comes to Broderick Jones and his injury and his chances of coming back. And on top of not even being that great of a player that we've seen so far to this point. So I definitely think it's all for the right reason. It wasn't in vain. Let's go to Christine. She says, Omar is a damn liar. He had a presser afterwards, not knowing that it would come out about him being on the phone with Lemon and said Max was their pick from the beginning, which he may have been, though, if you think about it, because not many people seen Lemon getting all the way to 20. So, providing, let's say, again, he gets taken anywhere earlier than that, this is a non-topic. So he could have very well been the target all day long, but now this sexy pick is working its way into your peripheral. It's like, well, shit, we have a chance to get this guy.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't go your way. So then you ultimately get the guy that you would. So whether he was lying, whether he wasn't, I do know that Max is somebody that they had interest in. Again, our draft guy, RB, certainly, he was very heavy on Max. He even went as far as saying that that's going to be his pick for the number 1 overall. And I would say, arguably, here at the show, that he knows more than most of us about the draft. So again, that's telling me that this is probably an okay pick for the Steelers, and I'm not that upset about it, Mike.
I'm not either. You can have your draft board and oh man, dream scenario, this guy falls to us, we'll take him. Realistic scenario, okay, this is what we're thinking by what other teams needs and where they're going to go, how these guys are going to fall. So okay, in this range we want this guy, in this range we want that guy, and we kind of have a feeling who we're going to take. And then you can say, yeah, in this range we have a feeling Max is going to be our guy, he's our guy if he's there. Oh shit, one of these guys keeps falling that's in that dream group. Okay, it kind of changes the scenario.
Exactly. That's what I think.
So it's like you're not lying, but
it makes sense.
Yeah, hey, we want this guy, but we know we might not get him, so we want this guy, and that guy's there. It's like, fuck, okay, yeah, we'll try and take him. And if you don't get him, it really doesn't change the narrative of no, player B was our guy all along because that was the most realistic shot.
Just real quick, I don't want to get off topic too long because we do have a lot to catch up on the board, a lot to get into. Where does AJ Brown go now that they have a surplus of very talented wide receivers in Philadelphia after grabbing Lemon? It seems to me that AJ Brown would be the odd man out because of the issues, things that have been going on in the past. Where does he ultimately end up landing, Mike? And who, if you don't know who to pinpoint, who's in the ballpark?
New England. That's been the story for so long. That's Diana Rossini, her and Vrabel, that whole mess up there. She's been saying how they really like AJ Brown would look really good in New England. That's probably getting a tip from Vrabel, hey, we want AJ Brown. And take the scandal aside, it makes sense. They need a receiver. They don't have Diggs. They have no one else on their team. They can make a play for him. Get a good playmaker like that with Drake May, that's going to help that young team. I literally see AJ Brown going to the Patriots. That makes the most sense right now.
All right, let's get back at it. Scott, I always like to say what's up to Scott Atkins. Always love seeing him here on the board. He says Con's lemon got squeezed. That's that's borderline game ball. Keep them coming. Tortilla, I do want to say thank you, sir. He with the super chat, we have more than one plan. I couldn't agree with you more. And again, Mike, a lot of speculation this morning. And again, speculation is speculation. But at the end of the day, if they do get aggressive here today in round 2, especially to get up, you could certainly get yourself a pretty talented wide receiver. Of course, we would have all loved to have. Lemon, but again, I think it was a bit of a stretch for us to even be in position, unless he was the guy that we wanted, and was able to trade ourselves up from the get-go. But that wasn't the plan. The plan, I think, actually fell into place. But at the end of the day, nobody's always going to be happy. But we have day 2. We're going to try to make up for it. We're going to start filling these holes and trying to see what we could find. Mike, we have 5 picks within the first 100. So this is the setup to be able to grab some players, Mike. Getting 5 in that first 100 picks. I talk to me Monday. I'll be able to tell you if I'm upset or not. Right now, I'm not. I would have been happy had it gone the other way, but I can't say that I'm not happy by the way that it had gone.
Yeah, we don't know how the rest of the draft is going to play out. Like you said, there's still 4 more picks left to go here for the Steelers. They can still address a wide receiver in the next 2 rounds. And I guarantee you, the drop-off from Makai Lemon to whoever they get's not going to be that sharp. It is going to be a razor-thin margin. Did I want Makai Lemon? I would have loved to have Makai Lemon. But there's other receivers in the draft we can get. So I like this approach. It's, you keep building your lines, and if you have enough protection, guys will get open. There's still weapons out there. The draft is more than just the first round.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the board, though, Mike, because we have a
back to the board.
It's literally burying, and I'm losing.
I'm sorry.
Let's go right here. Somber says this. I did make the comment that he looks. He puts me in mind of Broderick Jones. He's big. He's a lummox. I have no other explanation. He says not even close. Laugh my ass off. So I hope you're right, Somber. I hope you're right. Yinzer Joe, always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the terrible board. My man, all the way from Ohio, he says this. Well, I guess Kahn probably assumed Dallas wasn't taking a receiver, so they called Lemon. I think he's kicking himself for not moving up. More than likely. There's 100 picks that we could have made, and just this particular one that was kind of brought to our attention because, it was a sexy pick that did move into our peripheral. And again, I was like, oh my God, we could get one of the top receivers. But again, it didn't seem like that was the goal. If it was, maybe we would have acted accordingly, and we did not. So again, I'm not pissed. Let's see what we get today, especially if they could grab a number 2. To me, seems like this is where they're going after their wide receiver after things went the way they did. Let's go here. Somber says chore, like you do chores. Let's go John the Steeler Freak, Big John Stud, middle name Mud on the terrible board. He says this, it isn't the pick, but how it went down is exactly it. That's exactly it. And again, we have no shortage of beef with Philadelphia. So, just jump on board with the hockey fans. It's time to hate Philly. Let's go right here where Ty says we better cook today. That's all I'm going to say. And we're going to have 5. We're going to have 5 nice players by the end of the day, adding to the one 4 today, added to the one that we already have, for a total of 5 by the end of today. Again, round 2 starts at 7:00 tonight. That will be picks 53, 76, 85, and 99 for us as of right now. They could move up. They could do a lot of different things. We will see, but that is the schedule as we speak. Let's go to right here where Aaron, I'm sorry, I'm going to move this just a hair. Aaron Jade, my man, he says this. I hope we go guard or wide receiver in the second. Use some of those picks and move up in the second. And, of course, we have three picks in the third. Going to say what's up to Code, man. Always great seeing Cody in the house. He's breaking down words. And it's very helpful, though. Very helpful because, of course, they did take the guy with the hardest name to pronounce in the draft. I think that it was all to spite me. I really do. Let's move forward, though. Tyrone says the good thing I will say is if we get a guard, our O-line is set. Cool, it better be because we could get 4 wide receiver picks today, Omar. That's I think they're going to go after that wide receiver early, and then I think they're probably going to hit the guard position later in the day. That's the way that it seems to me, at least. Let's see how that plays out. Let's go to John, a Steeler Freak. I wrote many times Broderick Jones didn't clear his medical. That's true. He's having issues, man. No two ways about it. And to be honest, I don't know if there's anybody that's actually not seeing the writing on the wall that Broderick Jones is done. I mean, come on. We could go back and forth about this. But has there been anything about Broderick that you liked so far? Seriously? He was the starting point of this building the team from the line out. And he was point A. And he's the biggest disappointment so far. He was struggling. They moved him. He struggled. They moved him. 3 years later, he's looking a little better. And then he goes down with an injury now with the surgery. Well, it could take him well into this next season. I mean, the writing on the wall to me is Broderick Jones is done. So the pick that they made, I mean, it's right on. Yes, of course we want the sexy pick. Who doesn't? But for what it is that we're doing and we've been talking about for months, they did exactly that. So again, at the end of the day, I think it is what John said. It's just the way it went down. It was so close. So close. Let's do stick back on the board here. I'm going to try to get caught up a little bit where Christopher says this. Big Max is better than Vega. He's faster and stronger and more athletic.
That's a hot take. Not sure I agree with it, but I hope you're right.
This is the time for the
this is the time for the hot take.
For Steeler talk. Nation to talk.
I know. I love it.
My God. It's always got to be about you and the ego. Come on.
It's not. It's a hot take, and I love it.
Let's talk about Mike's forehead for a while. Let's look at the. Let's get back on the board.
I love Christopher, though.
Somber says this. Go look at his Senior Bowl reps. His punched a guy that was getting froggy with him. I assume you're going for. Again, sometimes you like that guy with a little bit of fight. If he's not a stupid ass, The guys that have fight that are stupid, yeah, them are the people I don't want on my squad.
No.
But I like a smart guy that got fight. RB, my man, our guy in the house. He says Mad Max has played more snaps against higher level of competition than Jones. Also has the highest upside in this entire draft already, better than Proctor, Miller, Lamu, and Freeland. Some good information there. We like hearing that. Again, if you're going to take the position, to know that you got one of the better people at that position, certainly it's a nice constellation, Mike, to what it was that, again, a lot of people didn't think they were going to get it. It got close. They wanted it more, and it got taken from us. I mean, if we were really, really serious about that particular pick, we would have maybe handled it, used one of our 37 picks to get to that point. But it just seemed to me that they had their eye on the tackle. And at the end of the day, Mike, this is the exact guy that RB picked out of everybody in this draft to go to the Steelers at 21. So again, he does. He's very into the draft, and I trust his judgment. Again, we're going to give him his own segment of the show. Win RB's money, because again, Mike, very, very smart RB is, and again, I think he could be a very difficult person to beat in trivia. But let's move on. Let's go right here to Mark Malone. He says, "What's one position we didn't need? Right tackle? Yeah, basically. I mean, there's a bunch of positions we don't need. I think, right?
Right tackle, but if you move your right tackle to left tackle, now your line's set.
And then you would have a right tackle.
Well, yeah, you move Anchor to right, and then Fatano to left, and line set. Because we needed a left tackle, and Fatano can play left. This guy can play left.
This guy's built more like a left tackle.
Yeah,
he's built like John Ogden. You know what I mean?
Just watching some of his film today, like you see really good building blocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go right here to RB again. RB says this somber. He was going after tons of guys after reps. He's mean as fuck. I like that. As long as he can control himself.
Yeah.
He got the Nigerian strength, like Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare.
Yes.
Big number 35, if you remember from the 90s, for the Kansas City Chiefs, the running back. Fatanu is better suited to play left tackle, is what the RB is saying. So perhaps that be what they do. We still a lot of things got to happen between then and now. So we'll see how things continue to go in the draft, and it might be the case. Let's go here to Ty. Ty says to Troy F moving left tackle, I assume. RB people stuck in Tomlin mode. That's an interesting thought. That's a thinker. Mark Malone says the only way Omar can make up for this is to land Dunker and Beck. Boy, I cannot wait till that Beck is off the table. Oh, wait, I can't wait till he's gone.
I can't wait till I never have to see this face ever again.
Yeah.
My lordy. Face of a franchise, boys. Face of a franchise.
Let's go to the next comment here, Ty. No, we didn't. We got this here. Cody right here says, does the fact that his college quarterback was left-handed help?
I don't know. It could.
Yeah.
Is you blocking that blind side?
He wasn't blocking the backside, though. That's a question. That's a good question, Cody. Somber, Honey, I Shrunk the Two Dum Yinzers. Honey, I Shrunk the Two Dum Yinzers. Let's go here to Christopher. He played left tackle in college. RB says Tyrone Troy to left tackle or left guard, depending on how today plays out. Yeah, absolutely. More things are still going to be answered, guys. We're still in this draft stage. We got one piece in place. Still so much that could go down, especially today, with of course 4 picks all within the top 100 today. So again, we'll see. Go to Ty, man, fuck no. Like Tomlin, man, leave me out of this. He says this has nothing to do with me. I've been gone since January, guys. Leave me alone. Go right here to Mark Malone. He says Christopher, who? Tyrone, no, right here. Let's go to Christine. Christine says this: Omar got fleeced in Pitt and made us look like idiots. Wasn't doing his job and then panicked. I don't hate the pick, but another right tackle after being punked when Cooper was still there. Mike, that was your guy. I know that you and Derpy were doing the stream last night, and you were getting pretty excited because once it got to a certain point, there was a handful of receivers left.
Yeah.
In you said, you know what, no matter what, when it gets to us, there's going to be a receiver, somebody that we can take. And you were starting to make me think that they were going to take a receiver.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that, Mike. They went and Omar Cooper got drafted after the fact, after we went.
Yeah.
So he's off the table. But you were kind of sure at one point, Mike, that they were going to go just because there was so much left at that particular point. How could the Steelers not go after that? I think is the thought process for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, and I think I kind of threw like my own like logic of how, you know, and thought my own just draft etiquette out the window on that pick, because you see the sexy picks in front of you, so you want to get them. And Cooper was the one I said, and I kind of wanted to be right. But like I said, over on d2dumyinzers.com, my last mock draft, I had Ian Anchor as my pick, so I wasn't upset with it. I was more shocked that Philly took and Dallas swapped with each other, and then they took a receiver. And yeah, I know they're going to trade AJ Brown, but they have a nice receiving core to begin with. I thought they'd go safety, so that threw me for a loop. But when I saw Big Mad Max be our guy, I was happy with that pick right there. I'm like, cool, awesome. We got a big bastard up front that's mean, that's nasty, and can move. And for being someone who's only played the game for like 3 to 4 years, being able to learn and absorb this brand new game to him and be at this level, how could that not excite you for the future of what this guy has? I know a lot of people are worried because, what happened to Broderick Jones? We're having trouble developing guys. Brand new coaching staff. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because I want to see what they can do. You know, we don't know what they can do. This is a whole new regime. This guy might be the starter day one, and like, hey, kid, go out there and figure it out while we train you up.
All right, let's get back on the board. Somber says the optics with lemon stuff are definitely very bad. I'm seeing a little bit later. A few things here, Mike, that maybe people will kind of talk them off the ledge a little bit, but we'll get to that shortly. Tyrone says that's who I wanted, Christine Cooper Jr. He was right there. He certainly was. It could have very easily been our pick last night. But again, sticking to the game plan, I think also speaks volumes. Yeah. The fact that maybe you could have made adjustments on the fly and had a different result. But on the other hand, you set out for a goal, and the goal was set out years ago, 3-4 years ago. In the fact that they're still staying true to it, even with new coaching staff, that speaks volumes in a sense as well. You got to like the commitment to the process. At the end of the day, that's the plan. That's what worked for Philly. We said that's what we're going to do, and if we would have went off track, then maybe we wouldn't have continued on that path. We don't know, but again, Mike, I'm definitely not upset. Upset's not the word. Again, maybe F Philly is something that bounces around through your head, But at the end of the day, I'm not upset. I'm definitely not upset with this pick.
If you see someone falling that to you that you have rated in the top 10, that you're probably thinking is going to be outside of our possibility to get, and he's there, you're gonna take him because he's just the higher guy on your board. But when shit happens and someone else swoops in and takes him, they didn't panic. They went, like you said, true to their philosophy of the Andy Weidel philosophy that he learned from Howard Roseman. Draft a lineman, offensive, defensive lineman, and then fill out your team elsewhere. And then once you have those things done, then you can start, experimenting in the draft, going out and getting luxury picks. So you're good.
In 7 minutes, we are going to go through the first round, Mike. We're going to go through the picks. Till then, we're going to stick on the board. I'm going to try to hang in here on the board as much as we can. But I do know I want to say thank you and welcome, everybody. Welcome today to the show. Mike, maybe throw up a poll on the board asking what position people think tonight. What position do you want tonight to see? Of course, we do have 4 picks in the top 100 still coming up. What do you want to see tonight? Maybe a guard, maybe a linebacker, a safety, a quarterback,
a wide receiver,
perhaps. Throw the poll up, Mike. Let's take a look at what people are thinking. Call it to action, everybody. Mike's going to put this up. Do please participate. I'm interested to see what Steeler Nation is thinking today. I mean, very, very similar thoughts I am getting across the board, but I don't know. I want to see what Steeler Nation is thinking today going into day 2 of the draft, which tonight right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania starts at 7:00 p.m. Don't miss out. This is rounds 2 and 3 Again, picks 33 through 100, and the Steelers have 4 of them at 53, 76, 85, and 99, guys. So, again, you're not going to want to miss the draft tonight. It's probably going to be a little bit more exciting because there's just going to be so much more that the team is going to be absorbing and bringing in. Yes, the first round's always exciting, but tonight's going to be very big for our Steelers. Let's do stick on the board right here where Aaron Jade says this. McCormick is a natural left guard. What if we moved him back to the left and put Troy at left guard? Left guard. Just a question Aaron is saying. Perhaps something is mistyped there, but yeah, I mean, moving Fatanu around is definitely not out of the question. I mean, just depending on how things go, Mike, and if that's the way that we need to do it.
Yeah, he would be the one. Because, like they said, they want to keep Mad Max at tackle, and Fatanu, when he was coming in, there was, like we said, man, projection of him at guard, maybe him at tackle. So he has the best flexibility of all.
Absolutely. Let me see if I could find is the poll up yet?
It's taking me a second to get it popped up, so give me a few minutes here.
All right. I'm going to stick on the board while you do that. Let's go to right here, Christophus, Mark Malone, 100%. I guess they can blame it on Fatanu. If it goes bad, then he will have to go back to the left tackle. Christophus says Fatanu could play left tackle. He played that in college. It is his natural position. Mark Malone, he says Cooper and Concepcion are gone. Who do you want to trade up for? There's a couple people left, Mark. I just right off the top of my head that I have written here in front of me that I thought of before the show. Jeremy, we could look at Jeremy Bernard, of course, Denzel Boston. I know Mike not a big fan of Boston, but there are still some names, especially if we aggressively start the day out. The draft picks for us start at 53 today, but again, we have a surplus of draft picks this year that we could play to our advantage and maybe get to that if that's the plan for the day, which I would not have any problem with that plan at all, just because the way that things played out. So Mike does have the poll up. Guys, do put up your opinions. Which positions should the Steelers draft in round 2? Again, there's quite a few, but who do you favor? Who do you want to see? Who do you think that we need next? And primarily, Mike has wide receiver, cornerback, defensive line, and other on the poll. If you could just go ahead and fill that out at this point, Mike, it's 86% right out the cut is saying the wide receiver. Is that any surprise?
None whatsoever. I'm surprised it's that low.
Yes, me too. Let's go here too, Mark. I'm sorry, it's a somber. He says we were the joke in our own draft last night. Got to turn it around today. Also, Tyrone says while up with Lemon was wild. Omar got fleeced. And that's the thing of the day. I mean, when we fleece somebody, it's awesome. It's the business. We hate Philly. I think just carry that narrative along because that's never going to change.
Like show of hands, who thought Philly would trade up with Dallas, and who thought Philly would take a receiver in round 1? No one saw this coming.
Well, here's the thing about me. I don't care. I don't even pay attention to what they got going, but that sounds right. Let's go on to the RB, of course. RB says, I was mocking Mad Max since the beginning of March, always with the trade down to 26-28, but he climbed a lot of boards. Chargers were going to take him. If he didn't, Houston was on him as well. And both of those teams could have certainly used a good offensive lineman. They needed it.
Yeah.
When life steals your lemons, Tortilla says, when life steals your lemons. That's the way it played. But you know what? Isn't that how the Pirates got their name? Wasn't we pirating players from Philadelphia back in the day? I think
so, yeah.
It's always a rivalry with them guys. Let's go here to Aaron Jade. He says Troy says he likes the right side better. I heard that in some interview last season. Okay. Christine says this. I know Chris, but he has been highly successful in the NFL at right tackle. I couldn't agree more. Very, very highly successful. Aaron Jade, I totally don't know. I'm just asking questions. It's all good, brother. Mark Malone, Christine's, yeah, it's a bummer. He said he prefers to play right tackle. And again, there could be so many these questions answered tonight. We could grab people who are like, oh, yeah, that's good. Okay, this is what we're going to do. All right. Yep, I get it. Everybody is kind of in the overreaction mode right now, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. I'm surprised that I'm not.
Yeah, no, I thought you would be the one crashing out like the most on the show.
I did. And
I'm surprised.
I was going to when Derpy was getting on my nerves, but now I'm better.
Well, that's different. That's Derpy.
Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says this, facts Aaron Jade, he likes the right side. Also, Somber, my man, says this, I'm not gassing anyone who mocked Max, including Williamson. The team wanted Lemon. And again, as I said, RB was RB was like one of the only people in the world, that made this prediction. It's pretty impressive, I'm going to be honest. Let's go to Tyrone. He says, glad I didn't go to the draft, LOL. Let's go here. Ty follows it up with saying, me neither, Somber. They was literally on the phone. Okay, the OTP is on the phone. Gotcha. With him, not Max. Somber 100. Christopher says, this Makai Lemon is 5'11 and runs 4.5 40. He is small and slow, 4.5. That's got to make you second guess that, right? 4.5 40 for a receiver?
A little slow. Yeah. He's never going to be a number one. He's never going to be your true outside receiver. He's going to have a good career. I wanted him because I liked him in the middle of the field with the two big bastards on the outside. But there's other guys that can fill that role later in the draft.
Let's move along to Tyrone. He says, Chris, you're crazy. Lemon's a dog. Mark Malone says, Christophus, yeah, that may have been a blessing. If this dude isn't the second coming of the Robusterous, I would have grabbed Cooper Concepcion regardless. Tortilla says this, let's see Max play before we cry bloody murder. Same way we want to see Howard or Hey, that's the thing. I mean, at this point, it's just complaints because it is what it is now. We have this player and we needed this player. Would we have loved to have the other guy? Of course. There's about 15 guys I would have loved to have in that first round.
Right? Same here. And sexy picks aren't always the best picks,
You're right. There's a such thing as a right pick and not a right pick. I'm not saying Lemon's wouldn't be the right pick, but again, I do know that Max certainly falls into that mold for being the right pick.
Yeah, 6 more rounds to go, guys. 6 more rounds to go to flush out the roster.
Somber says this, you can't reach for a wide receiver that's falling down the draft board. LOL. Tyrone, exactly. Lemon fell and we fell harder. Ty follows it up by saying, Omar with 12 picks. Wait, we can trade? Right here to Christophus. He says, if we don't move up for Denzel Boston, we are going to get Chris Brissell or Ted Hurst.
Ted Hurst is the one. If you guys miss George Pickens, you better hope we get Ted Hurst.
Speaking of George Pickens, Mike, he's got some issues. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. They were going to trade him, then they slapped him with the tag, then they didn't, and then they draft receivers. So who knows what the hell's going on in Dallas? Come on, he's not a headache. Even Dallas is having issues with him.
I'm loving it. It just each day you understand why
that team of derelicts is having trouble with the guy.
Exactly. It's a mess down there. But like Ted Hurst, he is the most George Pickens-esque receiver in the draft without being a nutcase like George Pickens.
Do throw your pickup on the poll, guys. There's a poll up to see what you want to see in the second round. Of course, you're probably going to see most of what's going to be on the poll. However, what do you want to see most? That's what I'm interested in seeing, Steeler Nation. Do go ahead and fill that, hit that poll real quick if you are in the house today. Mike, I'm going to pull something up here. I'm going to pull up the results from the draft yesterday. We're going to blow through the first round. Again, most people don't care what everybody else did, but we're going to do it real quick here. Mm-hmm. No surprise to anybody. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 over to the Raiders. The Raiders are on schedule to ruin this young man's life starting as of last night around 8 o'clock. That was number 1, Mike. The edge rusher, David Bailey, goes number 2 to the Jets. Number 3, Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love, I think, is it's probably, again, Arizona. You need everything in Arizona. So, yes, he's a good pick because, yes, he's a talent. But at the end of the day, he's probably going to play there and then go somewhere else and be good, or they'll ruin his career.
I think Saquon Barkley on the Giants.
Right, exactly.
You're like, this guy's good, but my God, he sucks here. And then he's going to go somewhere else. And like, there's the guy we remember.
Cornell Tate, of course, goes to Tennessee. Avril Reese, Mike, the linebacker, goes to the Giants. Mansour Delaney the cornerback goes to the Chiefs. Now, that was a trade with Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. They moved into that spot. Cleveland, at some point, I thought they were going to move all their picks back. Mike, and they was going to have all their picks in the 7th round, is the way that it seemed at one point. The way that they just kept moving back. And So they did do that. And Delaney goes to the Chiefs. Mike, Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles, his dad from right here in Farrell, just up north. Sonny from Ohio State. He goes to the Commanders. Mike, the linebacker, of course, at number 7. Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson. This is a name that I've heard a lot during this process. He goes to the Saints.
Great pick.
Spencer Fanu, Mike. That's a name that we certainly liked coming in. Fanu goes to the Browns. The Browns.
That was a great pick by the Browns.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, he's probably going to start at right tackle, I think, because Jawan Jones is there. Yeah, I think he's going to be a day one starter there. Great pick by the Browns. Hate to say it, but they did not fuck it up.
Let's go here to Francis. Pronounce that, Mike. The offensive tackle for the Giants. Magoya. He goes to the Giants at 10. Caleb Downs, Mike. He goes to the Cowboys at 11. Caden Proctor, certainly a name that we've heard about, of course, needing a tackle here in Pittsburgh. He goes to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins, I'm sure, would have wanted anything besides a tackle, but there you go, Miami. I remember who was it the other day, Mike, the Dolphins fan came on, and he was talking about, hopefully they have a great draft in Miami, but they're having a Miami draft in Miami.
Yeah, Caden Proctor, big, fat, slow guy on Miami, not a good pick.
I'm going to go right here to next is Ty Simpson. Mike, Ty Simpson goes to the Rams. Surprised a lot of people, but if you're running a good, efficient football team, Mike, this might have been one of the better moves. Again, you're getting your guy bright and early behind your superstar. Maybe, listen, I'm not talking about the personnel or whatever it is. I'm just saying maybe this is something the Steelers should have done when Ben Roethlisberger was still in town and started making that process happen. So, again, I applaud that the Rams are doing that. Whether Ty ends up being the guy or not for them in the long run, I think that was a good move for them. And, again, I think that's a way efficient teams are ran. Let's go, Mike. We'll move on right here to Vega. Vega come in at number 14. To a lot of people, Mike, which was my pick for yesterday. Vega goes to the Ravens. So, there's always that back and forth, Mike. We stole Calvin Austin from them a couple years ago. They took our Vega, and it's a business. It's a cutthroat, baby.
It is too, man. But a great pick by them. I fucking hate saying that.
Yeah, I do too. Let's look at Mike. Next, number 15 on the list last night was Reuben Bain Jr. Of course, Mike. The edge goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just continuing to build that defense through the draft. You're gonna start noticing this Tampa Bay defense really soon. I'm telling you. And then Mike Sadiq, a name certainly that's came up the tight end. He also goes to the Jets. So David Bailey and Sadiq to the Jets, and then they also get our Omar Cooper later. So not a bad first round for that Jets team.
Jets had a really good draft. You get the big body tight end and Sadiq, who's very athletic. He's more or less a tight end. And then later on, like you said, you get Cooper Jr. He can play inside. They already got Garrett Wilson. Nice offense there. But, this is the Jets. Good luck, Godspeed, gentlemen.
Let's go to second part of the draft, Mike. The second half starts at number 17. Blake Miller, the offensive tackle. A lot of tackles I noticed early on in this draft, Mike. Blake Miller goes to the Detroit Lions. Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle, Mike, he goes to the Minnesota Vikings, which I think is good for them. They always pride themselves on good defense up there in Minnesota. That will certainly help. Monroe Freeling, number 19 overall, the offensive tackle. He goes to the Carolina Panthers, Mike. The Panthers get Freeling. Of course, right here is when the Dallas Cowboys were supposed to pick. Mekhi Lemon was still available, but the Philadelphia Eagles jumped the Steelers. They leapfrog us, if you will, while we were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon. And they jump us, Mike, and the Philadelphia Eagles land Lemon at number 20.
Talk about a shot from left field that no one in the NFL world knew was coming. Like, a couple people knew that Ty Simpson was going to be picked by the Rams. No one had any idea that the Eagles were going to trade up and draft a receiver. Best kept secret in the draft.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I'm loving it from Philly, but you know what? They've been drafting great the last few years. And you want to know why they're drafting great? Is because they started with that line. Now you don't have to worry about those kind of things. You could grab the Cooper DeJeans, the Jalen Carters, the Dante, or not, who's the corner that they got from the
Mitchell.
Quinion Mitchell. So they're in a position to get all these nice players that we look. And you're looking, but you're not going to build your team around those players as the nucleus. That line is exactly why Philadelphia is able to be so effective in the draft, and we're working our way to get to that point. If we could just get the pieces to fall into place and work for us, then we can start drafting luxury wise and expand out. But at the end of the day, Mike, this is where we're at. That's where they're at. Let's go to number 21 overall. Of course, that is us taking Mad Max from Arizona State, the left tackle. Let's talk about also, Mike, this gentleman's name, the edge from going to the Chargers. I'm having a little trouble with Akeem.
Mesidor.
Mesidor was the 22nd pick overall. Malachi Lawrence, the edge, goes to Dallas. They are heavily looking for defensive help. We've known that for quite some time now, as they're trying to pick everybody's pocket during the offseason. So they got a little bit of defensive help there. KC Concepcion. I do know that this is who Tater Tart has been talking about in constipation for months. Certainly for a month. And his team ends up getting constipation, which is pretty ironic, being that they're the Browns. And
who's going to throw him the ball? Good luck. Good luck, KC. Good luck, brother. You're going to need it.
Chops man, Dylan Theineman, Mike, he goes to the Bears, 25 overall, the safety. Kalen Rutledge, a lot of time, Mike's that name. Mike, I'm sorry, that name has come up here on the show. People recommending Rutledge when you're talking offensive guard. Chris Johnson, the cornerback, Mike, he goes to the Dolphins at 27. Caleb Lamu goes to the Patriots at 28. Peter Woods goes to the Chiefs. Omar Cooper Jr. all the way to pick number 30. That was your guy, Mike. He should have been gone at 21, is what Mike is saying. Also, Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher, to Tennessee at 31. And Price goes to the Super Bowl champions, who has to fill that running back room, of course, after losing their Super Bowl MVP this offseason. So that is what the draft looked like in the first round. Tonight, of course, we have rounds 2 and 3, which, guys, that is going to be picks 33 through 100. And the Steelers have 4. They have 4 picks in that range. So this is what we're looking at today. I would be very surprised, Mike, very surprised if they didn't try to do something aggressive to get up and grab one of the remaining notable names in this wide receiver group that's coming up to this draft.
Yeah, there's a lot of receivers available. Some names to keep an eye on. We know about Denzel Boston. Zachariah Branch, I think, is a no-go. He's really tiny. Brazel out of Tennessee. Bernard out of Bama. I would really like him. Antonio Williams out of Clemson. A lot of people are talking about him. Got Ted Hurst. I think he's a George Pickens clone out of Georgia State. Chris Bell out of Louisville is another guy to take a look at. Jacoby Lane from USC. Bryce Lance, North Dakota State. And there's a lot of guys that we can get that can plug right in and play immediately in that number 3 spot.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do, Mike, since it's pretty heavy on the board, I'm going to jump up here a little bit. And I apologize again if I don't catch your message. I do catch them all. Ultimately, I do read them all. But just for the sake of the time in the show today, I'm going to scoot up a little bit. I apologize. I do apologize about that, guys. Let's go right here. I'm going to start right here just because I'm going to go here. Stop you crying people is what 007 says. Burley Kev, Mike, this is at 1313 on the stamp. Burley says, yeah, check out his new song. Somber, I'm fine with our guy, but don't act like he was the plan. Laugh my ass off. Burley, I do want to say welcome to Burley. As far as him being the plan, I don't know. Again, RB felt pretty confident about it, and I would say he's probably our best draft guy. So I don't know. Again, I don't want to argue that one just yet. I want to see him suck before I argue that. And I don't think that he's going to. Let's go here to Vegas. What's up, Vegas? Always great seeing. He says, when life doesn't hand you a lemon. Mark Malone says, what was up with Lemon Stevie Wonder interview? That's him. That's what they were talking about earlier on. That Stevie Wonder thing he has going on. Vegas says this Matt Williamson is as happy as a butcher's dog. We loves everything. We love saying that. Let's go here. Oh, I got you. Yeah, absolutely. Penguins. Christine says our planned pick was the right tackle. When we had him already, when we already have a stud right tackle, Lomu, Thieneman, Cooper still on the board. Lemon was the plan, and he was ready to trade up the whole time, and then blew. Like, what? But why though? Why did he blow? Why did he blow it? I'm just that's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm not doubting anybody. I'm just if that was the plan, why didn't they grab it? They let it be taken from them. I don't know. So again, we'll see. Bingo says this. He says the fetal alcohol syndrome's a bitch. Scott says this. I just can't take watching a bunch of 4s and 5s running routes and depending on them. No more old cast-offs either. Bingo says Christine isn't wrong. John the Steeler Freak says Lemon was the goal. They waited until 10 seconds to pick because they effed up and was scrambling. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Cody says Omar Khan was on the phone with Max. Ty Cooper Jr. should be a Steeler, and he's a Jet. Mike, I think Mike would agree with that. Certainly during the stream last night was his opinion. Let me scoot up here. Let's go right here. Tyrone says, thanks, Yinzer Joe. Christine says, 3 original 100. Steeler Free John OG, that is an OG effing statement. Brown's got an A, Tater said. You know what? The Browns were supposed to be finish ahead of us last year. How did that go? Yinzer Joe says Omar is going to get picked. Is going to pick 6 more tackles. Ty says Max, not bad at all. Just how it went down, Christine. And that's kind of what I'm learning. It seems like it's more of how it went down than anything. Let's go here. Let's go to Christine. Christine, I'm sorry. She says, this Cody, stop being a stinker, but I'm a whoop you. You know what? It's not in his vocabulary. Cody is a stinker butt. That's just how it's just how things are. Let's go to Scott. Scott says, this con better have his chef hat on tonight, cooking up something good. He can't afford the burning biscuits anymore. We need some sizzling steaks and big baked potatoes. And here's the thing. Let's say we had another. Let's say we got Lemon. But let's say the left tackle position dissolved and Broad Busterous doesn't get healthy enough. So then they go with Cook, and he ends up not having it. And then we're sitting in a position a quarter of the way into the season where our quarterback is getting killed. And we're like, if we would have just had somebody on that left-hand side of the line, our quarterback will be able to stand there for longer and see his receivers get open. So, I mean, ultimately, it's a good pick. It truly, honestly, is. It's going to be hard to convince people that. But again, you know, this is something that we, with everybody on this board, talk about every day. We look at all these different possibilities, and at the end of the day, Mike, this is a good pick. It is what it is now. So again, what can we do in the second and third round to continue to get better? That should be the question at this point. But again, I definitely feel the vibe, Mike. People are pretty shitty about the way Philly swooped in, but it's totally under the guise of the rules and everything. So nothing was done unethical. It's
just no one saw this coming. How many times do you see division rivals swap picks in the first round? Hardly ever. You know, you're thinking, okay, we're safe. Let the guy know this is the plan coming up. You're our guy. We didn't think you were going to be here, but we're going to be awesome to take you. It didn't happen, and they probably tried to trade back to gain some picks to draft Mad Max later. Couldn't find any takers, so said, "Fuck it, we'll take them now." It's not a panic move. It's we got snaked. Let's go to our next option, who we're probably going to take anyway. Can we find anyone to trade back? No, they couldn't find anyone to trade back that made sense. They couldn't find anything to trade forward with, though. Sit there and take your guy and move on. You still have 11 other picks to go, and we'll find out who was right and who was wrong in 3 years' time. So in 2029, I want to see everyone back here, and we can grade the 2026 draft.
Let's go here to Cody. Cody says, hopefully 6 more guards. Bingo says this. Browns had a way better first round, Tater. That's true, but they always pick ahead of the Steelers, and look how that plays out because they've picked ahead of us for about 40 years.
Yeah.
And you see how that's working out. So good luck. Tyrone says Omar picking back at 53. Watch. Muginex, do want to say what's up. Great having you on the terrible board. Great to see you. Welcome to the show. Vegas says maybe teams tried to overcharge Omar to trade up so they wouldn't feel like they were conned by Omar. Let's go to John. John, the Steeler Freak, says this: the one thing Rooney can't stand is having the Steelers business out in the open and admitting mistakes, and his whole organization shits the bed in his house. Classic art. Let's go to Ty. I bet Art Rooney didn't even like this pick. Somber says, yeah, the process was really bad. Christine, people can't differentiate between a bad process and not liking the pick. Unfortunately, Christine says, Omar has to explain why we had to tolerate lying, shady-ass, self-serving GM that can't manage a draft without Tomlin. Interesting. Tater says this: it seems that the national media are amazed. And again, don't listen to the national media when you're talking about football. You have to listen to local media, because national they cover it as under an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look at the details and the needs of people that. Again, Mike, I knew for months we weren't going to take a quarterback. I've known for a year. I've known for 6 months that we weren't going to take a quarterback. How is the national media still stuck on this quarterback in the first round? We've been saying it on the show for 6 months. They are not taking a quarterback in the first round. They're not. It's not going to happen.
Because we've been saying for the longest time, like ever since all those quarterbacks went back to college, the ones that came out kind of shit the bed and did not develop, that this was the year they were going to address offensive line or wide receiver in the first round. We fucking knew that coming in. So why is it a shock to the national media and to fans that, oh no, we tried to get a receiver, we couldn't get him. Oh no, we want tackle. Those were the two options in the first round of this draft. Where's the disconnect with everyone in the process? I'm it's pulling out the remaining hairs that I have. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like, the draft was falling away. A once in a million move came out of nowhere, shocked the entire NFL world, and somehow that's our fault. What the hell?
I'm going to actually scoot up a little bit again, Mike, just due to where time is and where we're at on this board. I do apologize. I really do.
We love reading all the comments when we can, but you guys are bringing it today. I love it.
Absolutely. Keep them coming. Please keep them coming.
I love the debate. I love hearing the other sides, the arguments and stuff. It's fun for me.
Let's go right up here, Mike. I'm going to start with Yinzer Joe. He says, I'm so sick of hearing about this and that player has so much upside. I went con to draft. It moved on me just a little bit. Yeah. Where the hell did it go? I hate this one. Mike, all right, I'm just going to continue to look for it. I have another problem. I have another issue with these boards. I'm watching your stream last night. Why does neither board get the other show's messages? I mean, the vertical board and the horizontal board. Like, you have to watch the two separate shows to see everybody's comments.
I don't know. There's no way for me to merge them.
I mean, aren't you kind of blown away by that? Like, why?
I am too. Yeah.
Because if we're reading the messages on one particular show, people have to switch back and forth to keep up with the messages. I don't know. It just feels like there should be a better way. Let's move right here, Mike. I am back to where I was at. Yinzer Joe says, I'm so sick of hearing this and that about a player. Has so much upside. I went con to draft aggressive and get that plug-in player. Ridiculous. Let's go here. Cody Omar Khan built this team only reason we win games. Vegas, if we picked Lemon, some folks would say if he is not very big for his size or bigger fast and is basically only a slot receiver in the NFL, and we needed to bolster the offensive line. Kenneth Jones, what's up, Kenneth? Always great seeing you, brother. Great seeing you on the board. Kenneth says, Mike, two wide receivers tonight. Again, get on the poll. We have the poll. What positions do you think we need most tonight? What do you prefer tonight? Again, 4 picks in the top 100 tonight in round 2. Christine says we should trade all of our picks for Stafford now. Yeah, but he has the back issue. And again, how much more time could Stafford possibly have how much more gas could he possibly have in the tank? Because you remember, Christine, he was in Detroit for all those years. He was up in Detroit for a while, and then now he's been in Los Angeles for quite some time. Then he had the back. It didn't seem like his production was affected by it at all. But at the end of the day, I don't know. maybe it would work out for us. Let's go to Vegas. He says, then we'll see. Say Aaron doesn't throw to rookie wide receivers. Yeah, that's all we need is having that being a problem. Where are we at? I do want to say what's up to Chewbacca. I love the
Great name. I saw that. I couldn't wait till we announced Chewbacca.
Why was Ty Simpson a head scratcher? He's a franchise quarterback. We will see. We certainly will see.
We'll find out. We'll find out. It's a head scratcher in that they're really close to being like they could win a Super Bowl, and you thought that they would add to that roster. But I also understand where they're coming from too, to where get this guy, you can sit him for a couple years while still playing and winning with Stafford, and if he does develop, he's your guy, and your offense keeps going the way the Packers did it with Favre and Rodgers and Jordan Love. I get it, but at the other side too, I'm also thinking, man, you're so close to getting the Super Bowl, you got a piece. So that's why it was a head scratcher for me. They could have went either way. I get where they're coming from. I just not really sold on Ty Simpson, but I get where they're coming from. If that makes any sense.
All right, I'm going to jump up a little bit. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to hit Ty. Ty says, Troy even said in an interview, I prefer the right side. Laughed my ass off. Also, Chewbacca said, and they didn't have a first-round pick in 3 of the last 5 years.
Right? Yeah. See, their GM says, fuck them picks. I'm going to trade them all to get the guys I want.
Chewbacca, that was Chewbacca. Christine says this, Chris, probably even though that was the one hole we didn't need to fill. 007 says, yes, Christopher knows what's up. What did Christopher say? I'm kind of curious. Christopher, I don't know. I'm going to keep moving forward, though. Let's go right here to Scott. Scott Atkins is saying that the Rams are a Super Bowl contender and doesn't need this help this year. He's saying Vegas says, I'm not letting that face watch my kids that I don't even have. Let's go to Chewbacca. Chewbacca says there's a reason why the well-run teams operate so efficiently. They now had identified talent, and that's always been the Steelers. Still, I don't know. You know what? They still draft well. I don't even know what I'm talking about. They still draft well. Traditionally have always drafted well, of course, built the team that way. The league itself is just changing, though. The dynamic of the league changed. Christopher says, guys, chill out. There are a lot of very good wide receivers left to draft. We got the best right tackle in the draft. Tater says, I thought you had no Broderick. He's coming to Cleveland. You could have him, believe me. Tyrone. He says, Troy even said in the interview, I prefer. Okay, we did get that. We got Chewbacca. I kind of came backwards a little bit. I apologize. Let me scoot up a hair. I'm going to go right here. Tortilla says, if Max ends up being good, it's not going to matter that Khan got a little excited. Wide receiver 3 can still be filled. Tyrone, we'll see how it plays out. Chewbacca says Max is a stud. He sure is. And again, I'm learning more and more about him, and I couldn't be happier. Chewbacca follows it up by saying you should be excited about that pick. And we should be excited about that pick. Again, a lot of sour grapes today, I think, because people wanted that sexy pick. Mm-hmm. But this is something you go through every year in the draft. There's people that you want that you don't get, and Vegas says, what does Ja Rule think? What does Ja Rule think? Tortilla, there's wide receivers in the future. Somber, no, LOL. They need a starter, maybe 2. Scott Atkins says Jones is a bust. It's official. Absolutely. You could have him. You could take him today, Tater, if you want. Please. Don't stop it. Go. Just pass go. Take Broderick. Get the hell out of here. Tyrone says exactly. Our wide receiver room is DK, Pittman, Roman. Laugh my ass off. But again, we'll be back at it here in 5 hours. So 5 hours, we will see how the rest of this plays. At least the middle round. Yeah. Middle rounds play out.
Yeah. Antonio Brown was a 6th-round pick.
Tortilla needing to start T2. Tyrone says this. We better get Bernard, Bell, or Hurst. And that's all going to be in play for sure. Let's go right here to 00. 00 says this. Should we be that surprised? We know Philly are a bunch of dirty rats. Exactly.
Bunch of fucking scumbags.
Exactly. Somber 11 personnel, 3 receivers. Christine says this: the best player on the board was Steinman, day one starter, and he would have been complete steal. And we passed on him for developmental right tackle that may not even start. And that was Chop's guy. Chop, of course, he was big on Steinman in the first round. Um,
I'm kind of with RB. I'm only taking a safety if I know they're going to be a complete game record. Way Ed Reed was, Troy Polamalu, um, what's his name out there with San Diego, guys like that. Those are the type of safeties I want in the first round. Game records. And I don't think Feidemann or McNeil Warren fit that mold.
let's go right up here. Double O. We did get that. The Rat Bastards, the Philadelphia, the Rat Bastards. Let's scoot up here too. Somber says minimum. Cody says quarterback. John the Steeler Freak says the draft fuck up is just another indicator the organization is off. Mike McCarthy higher, number one. Rogers number two. Optics at their hosted draft. I'm sorry, their hosted draft are all signs of a Bush League organization. Ty says Beck Brazil. I do want to say what's up to Kemp. Greg Kemp on the board. We're glad to see you. Glad to have you on the terrible board, Greg. Greg says wide receiver, guard, and quarterback. I just don't know where this quarterback's going to help us at this time. With the big quarterback draft coming next year, we have plenty of capital to turn that into something next year. I just don't know what getting a developmental quarterback at this point in this draft is going to be. Again, what you're going to have him going against, I don't know. I just don't. I could be wrong. Maybe Beck will be here by morning. I don't know this, but to me, it kind of seems unnecessary. But people will say, Ryan, but Aaron Rodgers is holding you hostage, and all you really have is a rookie. I just don't know if bringing another project in is going to fix that at this point. When again, Mike, you have a plethora of good quarterbacks coming out next year with again capital this year to be able to help yourself next year. I would much sooner try to get my franchise quarterback out of that situation, or let's see how Will Howard plays out this year.
That's what we've been saying on the show. Like, if Rodgers comes back, cool. Will Howard gets another year to develop while we also scout guys coming out of the draft next year. Rodgers doesn't come back, cool. We start Will Howard. We have Mason Rudolph as a backup, and if you draft someone in this draft, you're probably going to do it like 5th, 6th, 7th round. And okay, another developmental project that's not going to take time from Will Howard, because some of these guys that are coming out, Will Howard and Aller and Beck, they're all the same guy in my eyes. None of them are going to be true franchise guys. So why waste a pick on one of them when you already have one at home? Keep developing Howard, put him out there. Worst case scenario, we shit the bed and we're picking high to get our guy, while we also been fleshing out this roster for years. We've been building the team to eventually make it quarterback proof. And you find out, okay, Will Howard wasn't the guy. You get someone else and you plug him in, and you already have DK and Pittman. You're going to hopefully have your offensive line set. You got your running back set. You got your tight end set. You're probably going to have another one or two young receivers from this draft. You're going to have younger guys on the defense ready to take over for older guys. Why is this hard to see what the plan in the vision is? I don't know why it's hard to grasp. We talk about it every day here on the show.
Let's scoot out because we had lemon in our grasp.
We did, but oh no!
But it's human. Listen, it's human emotion.
I know.
I know
because I'm getting emotional.
You are emotional. Look at you. You're a wreck.
I am a wreck.
You're a mental case.
Well, yeah, everyone knows that.
Let's go right here. I do want to say what's up to Sal Hazari. He says, oh man, just a total disaster. I disagree, but I do welcome you, Sal. Welcome to the show. Great to have you. Milku5, I do recognize the name. Welcome back. He says people were upset with the pick, are the same people who wanted a player to put as their wallpaper to show off to all their friends. It was a solid pick. Tyrone says this: they won't draft a quarterback now. Early, they know they lose the fan base completely. Laugh my ass off. Christine, Steeler Freak, we see it coming off the rails. Wonder why that is. Steeler Freak says this: I want their pick to not get ripped off so they don't panic like nuns during the Viking raid. Also, RB, Chris Bell, Caden Barnett, and Ted Hurst. RB is putting up on the board nuns during a Viking raid. Christine says. Ty says, I hope Pregnon Bernard. Milko says this. Milko says Omar Khan literally said the person they choose doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who they met with. I do recall hearing that as well. Cody says, no, Tyrone, you want Beck. Greg Kemp says this. I don't know why people don't like Bernard. Ty says, yep, give me back. Trade up first pick of the day. Christophus, we were going to the draft. We were going to draft 2 wide receivers tonight, and we were going to get our nose tackle and our guard. Corey, don't drink that. I do want to say what's up to Corey. Always great seeing you on the terrible board. Corey says wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. Let's go right here. Christine says, Mike, I think it is established that Omar lies like a rug. So anything. He's a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a businessman, and they teach you to be a good liar when you get into business. I mean,
that's every NFL GM and coach. They're not going to be honest with the media because they know everyone else is listening.
You got to be cutthroat in business, and that's he's a cutthroat kind of guy. You got to be a what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. I just can't come to my head. What kind of businessman you have to be successful? They usually lie like a rug. Let's go to Somber because they don't know ball, Greg. Also, Milku says this: if push comes to shove, I wouldn't mind giving Branch a chance. Is he out of jail, or wasn't he? Didn't he just get arrested for smiling at somebody or something?
For being 5'3", $112.
But he was in the way. If he would have got out of the way like he was told,
he moved out of the way, but apparently not far enough.
Not far enough. Instead, he just smiled at the cop instead of moving. Okay, let's do
$39 bond. This is the guy I want, man. He's a grinder. He's gritty.
Yinzer Joe says when you start shuffling players on the line around for a player you didn't really need, you're going to have growing pains. The line will have to get used to where they have moved to. Bad idea. Cody says, I saint it. He said, I saint it. Let's go to Ty. Caught me surprised for sure. Somber says this. Doesn't matter if they saw it coming. They had multiple chances. And if that's the thing, if they wanted him that bad, why didn't they jump up and get him when they had a chance? You have 12 picks. How bad could you have really wanted the guy if you didn't use anything? Let's wait till Kyle Lemon falls to 21 to see if we're going to grab him or not. That doesn't sound to me like you really wanted the guy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. It just sounds like he got so close that it pissed us off that we weren't able to get him being that close.
Yeah, and he's right there, and you're thinking, okay, Dallas isn't going to take him. From what we're hearing, no one's trying to trade up into that spot. All right, cool. We're going to take the guy, and then someone's going to take him. Okay, cool. We're going to go to option B.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or option A, or the first option that we were going to take because we never thought this guy would be here.
Cody says knew it was going to happen. Easy call. Christine says he needs to be aggressive, trade up, and get another pick in the early second. Ensure up wide receiver and guard RB. I told you a month ago Philly was trying to replace Brown and Smith. Yeah, no, it's no surprise to me. I mean, again, AJ Brown's been on the outs with them, and it's gonna be interesting to see where he lands now. We were at that point, so. Lost on. There we go. Back. I lost all my messages. So whatever the hell just happened. Thank Mike.
I'm over here. I am cursing all the equipment.
Well, I have nothing else to go off of, so I apologize.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to everybody who put the messages up.
I apologize. I am apologizing to everyone. Cody, thank you. Thank you, Cody, for the super chat. We appreciate it, brother.
I'll see if I could figure something out. But I lost everything. I don't know what the hell what that is, but we have to prevent that as well. I'll go ahead and start reading messages, Mike.
Okay. We'll start right here, Mike. I haven't heard you address Khan's call. That is my issue, not the overall plan. Okay, teams call people when they're falling down to the board to say, "Hey, we might be taking you. Be prepared. Are you excited to be here? All that fun stuff. Once we're on the clock, the next call you're going to hear is from us. This has happened before in the draft. It happens all the time. Just because it happens to our team does not mean it is something weird and out of the ordinary. It happens, and it just happened to backfire on us. And we'll just have to see how it goes from here. Hopefully, the guy we got, it turns out to be a great player. We'll know again in 3 to 4 years.
All right, here we go, Mike. I what happened? I don't know. Whatever happened, I was able to come out and go out and come back in. And to a certain point, there's a bunch of messages. So I'm going to jump in right here. It looks like it is at the timestamp 14:12. Christine says this: outdrafted by the Browns, feels awesome. Wonder why Browns didn't take Max. Super surprised at Miami's pick. And Miami's pick was a head scratcher. You know what? I'm not mad that the Browns didn't get the guy that we wanted. That doesn't make me feel bad at all. Again, let's see how it all plays out over time. Cody says, pause. Tyrone Ravens outshined us. Wow, Cody, they took your Vega. They took your Vega. Somber says, I went against a pitcher named Brighton Early in high school. Random thought of it when you said Brighton Early. I like that. That's a cool name, Brighton Early. Let's scoot up here. You know what? I'm going to actually scoot a little bit more, Mike. Just Learning. Always great seeing Just Learning. He says, our pick doesn't have football miles on him, which is good. Lemon, he's small and slow. Ty says, facts. My point is, if we were going wide receiver, why not go Cooper Jr.? I think the point was, I mean, again, they could have got that wide. They could have got out Cooper Jr., but they decided to go with what we need. 100% need. We don't have these offensive line. They're not there. They're not there. We could go with Dylan Cook and Spencer Anderson next year and hope for the best, but we do have DK. We did bring in Pittman. They aren't exactly young. I understand that. We're going to have to eventually at some point get younger. But again, let's see what happens today. I'm hearing that they might get aggressive, Mike, and try to be aggressive early to move up to get one of these remaining wide receivers. So we will see. Christine says this. I'm sorry. Christine. Well, that Stevie Wonder impression worked out well for Lemon because now he doesn't have to play for the Jets. He gets to go to Philly. I'm talking about cities that smell like piss. Somebody made some kind of joke the other day. You can't go to New York or Philadelphia without smelling piss. Listen, I like New York, but it smells like piss. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says this. Got to remember there are folks that think Fields should be a number one quarterback. Christine says Omar not cooking with fish grease anymore. He's using that dirty lake water. Let's scoot up here to Somber. Somber says LOL, right? Vegas got to remember those. Okay, we did get that. Somber, they were going to address tackle regardless. People just didn't think it would be in the first round. I don't know. That's kind of what I wanted the guard, and either the guard or the tackle, in my opinion, is the same thing as far as drafting at that particular spot and getting your line. So I don't think it was out of the question. I just think that people didn't assume that. They just assumed that Mekhi Lemon wouldn't be available at 21, and we would just take what we needed at that point. Mad Max, let's go right here to RB. He says Mad Max was always the plan. He says no one expected the Rams to pass on Lemon for Simpson, then the Jets to pass either of the wide receivers for Sadiq. When Lemon was still there, we were going to. Mr. Babu. I would want to say welcome to Mr. Babu Gum. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Max is a right tackle. Fatanu has to go to the left. I'm going to go right here to to Tortilla Jackson. My man, he says this. We didn't have just one plan for round one. We probably had a handful. Absolutely. If you're smart, you do, right? Steeler Freak says making ramen noodles doesn't take much cooking. RB, then the trade happened. Omar fielded calls from two teams to come up. Felt LA or Houston was going to take Max, so they just made the pick. Somber, he was a plan, but when Lemon fell, the plan changed. Then it changed again. Well, that's the thing, the plan changed. Should we have jumped up? Maybe if they wanted him that bad and they felt that he was worth it. But at this point, again, what are you going to do? Somber Strolls. I do want to say welcome to Strolls. Welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Strolls 84. He says this. I think it's a shock because Rodgers hasn't confirmed that he's coming back, and people were anxious to name a guy. But I think even he doesn't come back. Will and Mason can make do. Richard, always great seeing Richard. He says this. It would be great to see our franchise quarterback this year. Unfortunately, there were none to get this year. I agree. Mr. Babu Gum says this: we drafted offensive tackle 3 of the last 5 drafts, and I don't think we got our problem solved. I mean, we're going to see if this guy. I mean, hopefully, Fatanu and Mad Max can be the bookends to the offensive line. But again, that's unfortunately something we're going to have to wait to see. Let's go right here to Somber. Somber says the 2 options were left guard and wide receiver. Very few people were mentioning left tackle after they said Broderick's setback was not an issue. Listen, I thought that left tackle was a possibility when Broderick Jones couldn't figure out what his right from his left 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought the left tackle was going to be a possibility when Broderick Jones got switched to the other side of the line and didn't know what hand to put on the ground. I thought that Broderick Jones was going to be an option whenever the possibility of there being a problem of a setback came up. I just think that the whole time. I think that Broderick Jones was a possibility when he was tackling Aaron Rodgers. There was just at no point did I love the idea of Broderick Jones. He never showed anything of any promise, and that's been 4 years. I just wasn't willing to put much more time into him. I don't hate the Max move. I do not hate the Max pick. Let's go. Right here, Tyrone says Omar has drafted well besides Jones, but he has also done some shitty-ass contracts and no wide receiver 2 in 3 years. Finally laughed my ass off. I'm going to let it play out, but we'll see what time will tell. Steeler Freak John says this: I'm still looking for the explanation for why Khan calling Lemon while it was Dallas's time. That is what is wrong. I don't need time for calling that a mistake. Christine says, again, I think Max probably going to end up eventually being a great right tackle. That's just not the issue. Vegas says, would folks feel better if they also showed Omar trying to trade up earlier with no success?
Well, then they would bitch like, why didn't you offer more? Why didn't you just make it? Why didn't you hit the force trade button like I do on that?
Yeah, right. Vegas, we got that. I do want to say what's up to Zay the Man. Zay the Man. Here we go. 9-8, 10-7. We are the Northern Cowboys. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you on the board. Somber says this: if you use Restream, you should be able to see both chats at once, and we do, and I don't. So I don't know what's going on. All right, let me move on. Let's go right here to Scott. Scott Ackman said Roseman made Khan feel like the fat guy in the movie Deliverance. He took him to Pound Town. Mr. Babu Gum says Steeler Freak for real. Let's go here to RB. Laugh my ass off. Every player in the NFL draft is a prospect. People need to stop listening to mock draft sites and national media and do their own research to think Mad Max isn't a plug-and-play is. Go here to Alex. He says, do you guys think we move up for a wide receiver in round 2? I sure hope so. I'm going to be honest with you. If it happens, it's going to happen at that point. We have, again, 4 picks in the draft today. They're all in the top 100. And if they do that, Mike, it would actually make a lot of sense. Again, trying to move up to get one of these, names that receivers that we've talked about in excess all the way up to this point that are still hanging out in there. So, Mike, if they would move up today, get that wide receiver, would people be happy, or would they still, be kind of discontent because of what happened with Philadelphia?
They're going to be mad because it wasn't the guy that they wanted in the first round, and that's what it's going to be.
And what is it about Lemon? I mean, he's kind of, from what I'm seeing, he's slower, he's smaller, he's got a weird head that goes like this all the time.
Because people fell in love with him. Like I would have liked him. I thought he'd been a great, number 3 in the system, a potential low end number 2. I thought Cooper Jr. had more upside. I think Bella has more upside. I think Ted Hurst has more upside. He has a role. He would fit right in here. And a lot of people think we only have 1 wide receiver. We have 2 wide receivers. We can get receivers later in the draft. People fell in love with the position. They love the sexy pick, the wide receiver, the one that they fell in love with. People hate drafting linemen in the first round.
Tyrone, I hope it all plays out. Omar Khan knows he got to cook. Steeler freak squeal like a piggy. There you go. Zay the man. We are literally the Cowboys without the fact that they haven't been to the NFC Championship game since 1996. And we won a couple Super Bowls since then, been to 3. We have more than anybody else in the league except for New England. I don't know. They always seem to get good players, but they never seem to win. I think we're a little better off than Dallas is. That's just my opinion. RB says this. He says, retarded as we stand today. Mad Max, even though Raw is twice the player as Dylan Cook. Christine says, somber. Yes, the whole thing was guard or wide receiver. Right tackle was not a hole that I with all due respect, I do disagree with that. I do disagree because the left side of the offensive line has been my argument the whole time, obviously being the guard and the tackle, because we don't have a left tackle, a shored up left tackle. We have a center, we have a right guard, we have a right tackle. Everything else that we had on the left side was Spencer Anderson and Dylan Cook. And again, there's still very, very little to go off with Dylan Cook. And I don't know if Spencer Anderson is the guy. Otherwise, he would have been the guy. But again, with all due respect, of course, Zay the man. Now, let me go to Mr. Babu. Mr. Babu Gum says Lemon is the St. Brown Edelman clone. I mean, it would have been nice to have, for sure. No two ways about it. Let's go to Zay the man. He says this, but at least the Cowboys have good facility. They got bathroom stalls. There you go. So there, if they beat us out in that. If anything, they beat us out in bathroom stalls. Let's go to Christine. She says, I know Ryan, LOL. I've always liked Stafford, though, that spiral. Oh, it's pretty. Hey, dude, Mike, last year we were saying the same thing. Why don't we go get Stafford before the Rams went and re-signed him? And I would have loved to have him. So, again, it was just an argument for the sake of the day that we're having, I guess, Christine. I would love to have Matthew Stafford as our quarterback. Love it.
That would have been awesome. But, there were all those reports last year. Like, his back was, like you said, it was all jacked up. It turns out it wasn't. It would have been awesome to have him.
Let's do... I'm going to grab a couple. I see a couple new names, so I'm not going to scoot too far ahead. Let me go right here to Tyrone. He says, no, let me go right here to Mark Lancaster. I do want to say welcome to Mark Lang. I'm going to grab Ty first, to be fair. Jones cooked, so we had replaced him. It's just wild. Gotcha. Mark Lancaster, welcome to the show. Welcome to the board. He says, the fucking's crying about up front line B4 in my Myron Coat voice. He says, welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board to Mark Lancaster. Hope you're ready for night 2. It's going to be a big one tonight, baby. Christine, Scott Atkins, Somber, nothing smart. John, a Steeler free calling. Lemon on Dallas's time. Con fucked up. Not O-line or wide receiver. I'm not changing that. The sheer fact that Steelers must defend what happened says it all. OS, I wrote offensive line and was wrong. They wanted Lemon. They wanted Lemon is what John is saying on the terrible board. Ronald says, Jesus, you guys are all full of shit. Mark says this, just checking in, boys. Repping the Berg, Midwest side. Always great seeing people repping the Berg. Great to see you, Mark. Come anytime. We're here all year round, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the East Coast. So keep that in mind. Let's go to Packer fan. Let's go to the Packer fan. He says, Pittsburgh has looked beautiful so far in the draft. Good luck, guys. Rest of the draft. We thank you, Packer fan, as Green Bay is as well, and was wonderful when the draft was there. So we thank you for that and hope you have a good draft. Vegas says, good old, what's his name? Let's go here to Ronald. Ronald says, go check out every single report about Max and his Senior Bowl. He was the very best offensive lineman out there, better than every other O lineman in this draft. See, and that's why I'm not mad. But again, like people were saying, like, it's the situation. That's why we're pissed. And if we could all agree on that, if it's the way that it went down is why we're all pissed, I think we could all agree on that. I could play that game. But to say that Max, to be upset that we got Max, I think that he's going to be such a big piece of this team moving forward for years to come. Unless we just continue to have this problem at the tackle position, and it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. But you don't know, Mike. You thought that Roman Wilson was going to be very productive out of the draft. Yeah, the guy hasn't played 2 years in the league. Yeah. I mean, a couple throws here, a couple throws there. So you just don't know.
Yeah, like I hated when we picked Timmons in Woodley back to back. Like, why the fuck are we taking 2 linebackers?
I hated that.
Turned out to be great fucking picks. I did not like the TJ Watt pick. I thought he was overrated coming out of college. Turned out to be a really good pick. You don't know for 3 years down the line how good or how bad these picks are going to be. And I don't care the fuck about optics. I care about results on the goddamn field. In 4 years, if Max turns into All-Pro, people will be going, oh, yeah, but, we really wanted Mekhi Lemon, so this guy sucks. So, is he really good? That shit doesn't mean fuck all to me. It doesn't bother me. We got the guy on the team that's going to hopefully help solidify this line. We got a brand new coaching staff. We got brand new offensive line coaches that have a track record of developing young players. So I'm excited for this pick.
Let's scoot up right here to Ty. Ty says shit the bed Thursday, even worse, shit the bed Saturday. Tyrone says, I bet Tomlin is laughing so hard. John says Ryan throws out again. The Steelers got punked not to pick the phone call. Tortilla Exhibit A, Friday. Christophus, always great seeing Christophus on the board. Christophus says this: Omar is going to pay Philly back by jumping ahead of them to draft someone they want to draft tonight, or they could just give us Brown. We'll call it even.
Yeah, we'll call it even.
Give us a AJ Brown. We'll call it even, and we'll go from there. Let's go with Ty. My buddies at work are laughing at me. This is just great. Tyrone says, even the Bengals, man. No, listen, guys. The reason they're making fun is because it was a sexy pick. It popped up, and the Steelers didn't get the guy. Ultimately, though, you got a bigger piece of the puzzle. You got a bigger piece. Scoot up right here. 007. Nick Herbig was great in 2023 at the 4th round. Exactly. Look at Nick Herbig. People want him over. Some people would rather keep him over TJ. It's just at this point in time. So again, these picks that are coming today are certainly going to be capable of making waves.
Zach Frazier was a 2nd round pick, and he's already held it as like the 2nd or 3rd best center in the league. Joey Porter Jr. was a 2nd round pick and was being talked about as a top 5 corner in the league. It doesn't matter where you get the guy. It just matters, is that guy talented? Does that talent fit your system? Can you maximize that talent? I'm going to say it again. Antonio Brown was a 6th round pick. John Stallworth was a 4th round pick.
Tom Brady, baby, all day.
Brady was a 6th round pick. It doesn't matter where you drafted. Do you have the ability to play at the next level? Do you have the drive? In the place where you're going, do you fit that system?
Let's move along here. I do want to say, Cody, thank you on the super chat again. He says, I agree, Mike. What do you think of Deontay Johnson?
Greatest route runner of all time. Greatest Steeler wide receiver of all time.
Christopher says, if we pick any quarterback tonight, it'll be Drew Aller. Corey, don't drink that, says, when life gives you lemon, make Philadelphia. Richard says, this is the importance of commitment and intention in building a team. Mike Tomlin, Richard says. Somber says, Omar got little Boyd, period. Steeler Freak says this. He says, Mike, I haven't heard you address Khan's call. This is my issue, not the overall plan. Mike?
Yeah, I already talked about that. I addressed it when you were trying to figure out your the chat there. This happens a lot in the draft. My God, we snaked Ryan Shazier from the Cowboys. The 49ers snaked Reuben Foster from the Saints, or the Niners snaked Reuben Foster from the Saints. The Saints take an offensive lineman who turned out to be a 3-time All-Pro. This shit happens in the draft. Usually it happens in later rounds, but it happens in the draft. It just happened to get caught on film this time, and everyone now has to run in the days of social media with these narratives of like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever that we've ever fucking seen. This is terrible. To me, it's a nothing burger. Is that shit happens, and you move the fuck on. I don't know why it's a big deal for everyone. I really
people
don't.
Have different opinions. I don't get upset. People have different opinions. Come on.
I just think it's comical. People would rather fret and bitch and moan about optics instead of analyzing the actual player that we drafted.
Yeah. Hey, it's people. Hey, listen. That's why we're all there's a
You know,
lot of
I love the debate. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
yeah. But that's let everyone get their opinion out today. Christine says this: we're trading up for AJ Brown now. You know what? Give us. They need to just give us AJ Brown, in my opinion. Steeler Freak says sneaky. 007. Stop buying cheap Chinese equipment. Mr. Babu Gum says true. 007. Tortilla says, yeah, I highly doubt this was the first time it ever happened. It was just caught on camera. Exactly. Christine says this: we were on the clock though. LOL. Dallas was on the clock. We should have been on the phone with Dallas and not Lemon. That's a very valid point.
How do you know we weren't on the phone beforehand?
Because that information is not available. So we can only go by the information we know, that we were on the phone with Lemon, right? Let's go right here to Steeler Freaky says calling a guy while in another team's time isn't sneaky. It's foolish.
It's foolish to say, hey, if you're available, we're going to draft you. It's not saying, hey, we're getting you. It's saying, hey, if you're available, you're going to be there. Be ready.
Mr. Babu Gum says a reaction in the war room after the pick, just clapping, no celebrations. This makes me nervous. Let's go here to Christopher. Christopher says, guys, get over Mekhi Lemon. Jeremy Bernard is better than him. And listen, you get Jeremy Bernard early. I think that we're all going to be smiling tonight. Is better than him and any other receivers that are still available in the draft, or better than him. You know what? Again, if they attack that and they get aggressive early and move up and grab a receiver tonight, we're going to be able to forget about Mekhi Lemon. Again, yes, the fact that Philly jumped us to do it, maybe we should have been a little bit more on our toes. So at the end of the day, we learn. You live and you learn. Maybe they won't let it happen again. Let's go to Double O. He says this: they have to protect the quarterback. The offensive tackle is a great pick, maybe one of the best. As Mike stated, yes, the quarterback, the left tackle, and corner are three of the most important positions in football, and we got one of them. So Chinese have the best equipment, Cody's saying. Of course. Steeler Freak John says gum because they just had the rug pulled out from under their legs. That we did get that. No, we didn't. Tortilla Christine, Lamu as a left tackle. Wasn't he still there, Somber? I was too drunk to even remember. Mr. Babu Gum says for sure, but if Max was their guy, 007, what's the point? I'm having a great quarterback and not having anybody to protect him. And the thing is, to try to put a round peg into a square hole quarterback, I think is not very smart. Build a team until you find your guy. And again, maybe one of these guys coming out of the draft next year just might be the guy that's going to be here for the next 20 years. Instead you want to rush guys, you want to try to fit things that maybe don't work. Again, Ty Simpson, of course, was the conversation this year. But at the end of the day, say you're able to get a Manning, or you're able to get whoever comes out next year, you're going to have a line in place that's going to protect his ass. You're going to have other things happening. So again, we'll see what happens tonight, Mike. Early receiver for me gets us back in contention. I think it kind of calms the Steeler collective a little bit.
You would like to think, but like I said before, I think people are still going to be mad because it wasn't the guy that they wanted, and it wasn't a first-round wide receiver. So therefore, that player is going to be less than Mekhi Lemon.
So Umber says, yeah, the Blitnikoff Award winner sucks. Right. Gotcha. Tortilla says left tackle is more important than wide receiver 3. I don't care. You're not wrong. Cody says we're supposed to protect the quarterback. Babu says this: no one thought Lemon would fall. That exactly. That's what even makes it even crazier to me is he wasn't even supposed to be at 20, and I think that's why it hurts so much because it's like, oh look, we wasn't supposed to have a chance, and then we had a chance, and then we blew it. Maybe that's what it is, perhaps. Somber saying Bernard is better than better is just brain dead. He says stop lying. Vegas says Troy Edwards won the Blitnikoff Award too. Troy Edwards did win the Blitnikoff too.
Danny Warfel won a Heisman.
Yeah, Tim Tebow won back-to-back championships and the Heisman Trophy. Look how great he was.
You can be a great college player, and those skill sets are not a guarantee to translate to the next level. Now you're playing the best of the best every Sunday. You're not playing.
And that's the case for a lot of people.
There's an okay guy. Oh, there's a really good guy. There's a car salesman. There's an insurance agent next to me. It's all about how it translates to the next level.
Is Derpy still involved in the in our board? Do we have Mike?
No, I don't see Derpy anywhere. I can get a hold of him if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, track him down. I mean, we're just at that time where it's almost time we're going to have to talk to him. I tried to push it off as long as I could, but it's just
fair enough. It's Derpy.
Let me grab Cody right here. Cody says this. You know what? I'm going to come down just a hair. Okay, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go with Corey. Don't drink that. Corey says, I'm happy with the offensive tackle pick, which lets me know my age, similar to how my wife thinks she's old when she gets excited over a new vacuum. I get excited. Top O-line talent, golden years. The golden years, baby. Always great seeing Corey. And if you are into conspiracy theories, go check out Corey right here on YouTube at Don't Drink That. He has a pretty awesome podcast. A lot of material, a lot of content. Go check him out at Don't Drink That. Christine says Fatanu is better at right tackle, so if he is not as good at left tackle, then we could always blame him for Omar's screw up and trade for him for Ty Simpson next season. Christine says Steeler freak. Let's go here. Tyrone says, what does Tyrone say? Tyrone says he never gave up a sack. That's good. Look, if we need a guard today, I'll be happy. Somber said was my point. Here we go. DJ Kevger. I do want to say welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board to DJ. He said other AFC North fans love the Pittsburgh draft. What a way to host a draft. By getting the position you need to protect your quarterback for the next 15 years. Let's say they get that franchise quarterback. We want him getting hit. You know, so again, it's not dumb. It's smart. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. People prefer pretty sexy over smart. Generally, let's move forward here. Tyrone says guard and wide receiver. Cody, I think everyone on the board needs to hit the Asian massage spot at least once before tonight. Some of y'all motherfuckers maybe twice is what Cody is saying. Tyrone says, how old is he? How old is he, Mike?
He is. Give me 1 second here. Of course, the information I pull up on him would not have his age.
Vegas says, you forced trades. Boo, great seeing Vegas on the board. John, I wrote Broderick Jones hadn't passed his medical the whole time. I wrote they would pick an offensive lineman first. I was right, but I didn't give a F about that because the team looked so wrong again. Vegas says you turn the salary cap off and take every good player too. I'm sure, VT.
I do not. I keep the salary cap on. I keep trade. It all depends on what mood I'm in when I'm building that franchise. But salary cap's on, and I don't do forced trades. And Mad Max is 22 years old.
Here's one. Cody says we didn't want Broderick. We wanted Mims. Bengals took him before us.
And what did Mims do? They both turned out to be busts.
Somber says just the optics. Also, Somber says the point is left tackle wasn't a first round need. But you know what? Now we got a pretty strong line, though. You know what I mean? Christine said I have no love for Lemon. I had no love for Lemon, not why I'm mad. I would have actually taken Thieneman over Lemon, LOL. Somber says we knew they'd take a tackle at some point. Cody, we have 2 right tackles. 007, how many early wide receiver draft picks can turn into prima donnas? I think that's in the job description, right? Ronald Albright says this. People, we never have a new wide receiver. His name, or moving on me again here. People, we have a new wide receiver. His name is Michael Pittman. So why take a wide receiver in round 1? I don't care who it is. Rookie wide receiver in round 1 are divas. They want the ball from Jump Street. Corey, don't drink that, says I thought we had 2 second-round picks. I looked at it today. We only have 1. So do we trade? We did not. We had 1, we had 2, and we had 3 in the third. And that's 5 picks in the top 100. Tortilla is today going to be worst-case scenario all day. Vegas, Jerry Rice Cakes still available. Somber, we traded our second for DK. If you mean last year.
That was last year's second, yeah.
Ronald says this. We already had Lemon here. His name is Roman Wilson. You know what? And that's about it. That's the same. The build. Interesting, Ronald. All we needed was another wide receiver for Aaron to hate on. Vegas, is there a lefty quarterback that takes a Troy can go back to his left tackle like in college with Penix? Christine, we definitely needed a left tackle, not a right tackle in the first round. First, though, and no bigger of a priority over guard or wide receiver. I would have been good with Fanu or Lomu. Somber, nobody is saying Max won't be good. Good Lord, he says. Let's go right here to I don't know. Right here, Christine. I actually could care less about not getting Lemon. Somber. Yeah, I was not streaming today. Cody, maybe everyone is mad that the Philadelphia made the move and they're smoking the Penguins in the playoffs. I imagine that plays a role. I know Mike is he's as angry as a hornet about this Penguin series.
Yeah, but you know, we were lucky to be there. You know, we weren't supposed to be there at all. We had like a 1% chance to make the playoffs, and we made it.
And you're getting the results of that.
We're getting the results of it, so you know.
Ty says this. I know Max good. I'm gonna let it ride. Good point, Mike. Thanks. Let's go here to Ty again. He says, I'm hoping we can get a guard and wide receiver today. I'll be happy. I mean, that's the goal. To not get those positions today, I think would be a disappointment. If you get through the first 2 rounds or the first 2 days and you don't get the left tackle, the left guard, and the wide receiver, then I think that you might have screwed up. And you should be able to get your inside linebacker. You're going to get tonight's going to be good, guys. Again, picks 53, 76, 85, and 99 as it is day 2 of the NFL draft. It's going to be picks 33 through 100. 7 o'clock start tonight. Let's go right here to Christopher says this, guys. Did you know that Big Max did not give up a sack his senior year? He went against some of the best pass rushers that were drafted in the first round yesterday. He is good. Yeah, you don't give up a single sack. Come on.
No, that game against Texas Tech when he went up against the guy who played or who got drafted by the Jets at number 2, he one pressure against him. I went back and watched the cut up highlight of every single rep in that game. He gave up one pressure and played really well in that game. So there's a lot to love with this guy.
Let's go right here to Ronald. Ronald says Steelers better resolve themselves to the fact that they will select a quarterback tonight. You don't waste 4 of your pre-draft visits on quarterbacks without taking one of them. Listen, it could happen. I'm going to say that it's not. That's just me, though.
Pick 99, maybe the last pick of the 3rd round. Wouldn't be
providing we don't put something together to try to move up to grab a receiver and have all 4 of our picks this evening, and possibly.
Yeah, if we get like a receiver, corner or safety in another position, I could see a quarterback in there because Mike McCarthy does love young quarterbacks. He loves molding them, so it would make sense unless they keep falling down. You can grab one in the 4th.
Christine says nothing is going to wipe out the fact that Omar is trash. LOL. Of course, Max is going to be great. He's a top 50 on the damn board. Let's go to John. John, the Steeler Freak, says this. This discussion is a circle. I'm not upset about the pick, about how Khan allowed himself to be exposed. I will keep writing it if I keep hearing folks are upset with the name. Christine says, Somber, yeah. Somber says, I can bitch about optics and love the player we drafted. And I will, he says. Tyrone, I hope he plans out. Cody, Somber on a roll today. I like this version. I like this version of Somber today. Tyrone says, I hope we get Bernard. Cody says, where's this guy been? Hand John Quinn, what's up? Always great seeing Hand John on the terrible board. Great seeing you back. He says, you hit it on the head, Mike. Was the process and the fact it was exposed to the whole world? I think Max could be special. Worst case scenario is a quarterback now. No one will be happy with that. No one. Let's go to El Reed. El Reed says this. Reed, how Will Howard is legit. And again, we don't know that either. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Again, Tim Tebow, winning the Heisman and back-to-back championships, and he wasn't good enough to, be anything in the NFL. So again, it's so hard to tell. We haven't seen Will Howard even take a snap yet. Again, with the injury so early in camp last year, we're going to learn a lot this year when camp starts. But again, I hope you're right, Reeg. I hope you're right. But again, we'll just have to let it play out. And we know that his backside or the left-hand side, or wherever the hell the new guy's coming in at, he'll have protection there. So that would certainly help. Let's go to Lamont Curry. Hey, I think we recognized your name from before. Welcome back, Lamont. Welcome to the terrible board. He says draft Taylon Green. Taylon Green is a piece that came up, Mike, on the show a while. At least whenever he came in for a visit, didn't he?
Yeah, he came in. It was with him, Beck, Aller, and Cole Payton, maybe.
Yeah,
with the 4.
Let's go right here to Lazy Sky Bison. Lazy Sky Bison, welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. Regardless of what happens, I love the Max pick, and moving Troy back to his college position, left tackle, just makes sense. Great to see you. Great to have you on the board. Also, back to El Rig. El Rig says Chambliss next year if Smith isn't good enough. If Will Howard, I think, if Will Howard isn't good enough. No, you're right. Chambliss, of course, from UMass. Ole Miss. I'm sorry. I apologize. So he made the decision to go back to college this year. And there's a handful of guys, Mike, of course. You liked Lenora Sellers before last season. He decided to go back. Manning, he's going back. There was a handful of guys that decided to go back, and this is why they're saying that next year's draft is going to be the draft to get your quarterback.
Yeah, that was supposed to be this year. Hopefully that narrative doesn't keep happening where they keep moving back and back and back. Hopefully these guys do come out and we get an actual nice, good, deep quarterback class. And, hopefully we start Will Howard and we find out one way or another if he's the guy or if he's not the guy and we have a bad season and we can get one of these guys that we can hope be the guy.
Absolutely. Let's keep going on the board here. Tyrone says, I'll be okay if it's Bell, Bernard, or Hurst. Christopher's guys at 4 p.m. today, the Steelers will hold a press conference to introduce Big Max. And we do know that he's already in town. He was here 10:30 this morning getting off the plane. And so in an hour and 11 minutes, we'll have the press conference to introduce Big Max. So there you go. Our number 1 draft pick in town today. I'm sure he'll probably be on stage at some point, maybe here in the draft. Let's move along. Lazy says this. Lazy says, regardless of what happens, Max is a great pick. And moving Troy back to, we did get that. Ronald says, what are the odds that either Arizona or the Jets select Carson Beck at the top of round 2?
Oof. That's a move those organizations would do. And that's in their track record. I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't know. I don't think we see a quarterback go until the 3rd round. I think here in the 2nd round, teams are going to go after positions and players that they couldn't get in the 1st round.
Let's go to right here where Yinzer Joe said, Con messed up, admit it. If you're a GM, how do you draft? What teams are in front of you and behind you? What do you do each team needs? And he let a team behind him jump in front, knowing AJ is going to be traded. Lazy says this. Now let's trade up and get a wide receiver. That's the answer. I mean, for everybody that's so, that's really brought down by this, let's get this wide receiver early. I think that should be the goal. Sombry says they won't admit it. He says they will not admit it. Christine, we should have traded up and got Vega or Fano if we were worried about protecting the quarterback. Light clapping in the war room because this was not what McCarthy wanted, no matter how they spin it. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says, would you feel better if Omar if you watched him call all the teams from 11 through 19 trying to trade up, but they wanted too much, so he turned them down. Tortilla, Con messed up, but messing up doesn't mean we can't make the right decision after messing up. That's true. Not one of us has never not messed up. Steeler Freak John says, I guess the answer is teams shouldn't call on other teams' time from now on because they will look like tools. Why does a college kid have to get ready to be picked by an NFL team? Steelers, any call from the 32 teams should be good enough, Steeler Freak says. Joe, Christine, facts, girl. He said, get down, girl. Go ahead, get down. Let's go. Christine says 3 original. Somber taking in circles at this point. Talking in circles at this point. Christine Steeler Freak spot on. Somber 23. Ty, okay, not bad. Somber, see, I know more about him than you. LOL. Mims is playing better when he is out there. Vegas says that about Mims. Steeler Freak, I didn't know one college player, so there's no attachment to the picks. Tyrone said last year was tough with the left side offensive line, so I'm feeling 60-40 right now. Get guard, complete the offensive line. Christine says 3 original. You are 100% right. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says I'm upset because it feels like we draft a tackle or guard all the time. That has potential upside, but turns out he doesn't develop fast enough. Or we trade him elsewhere, and he does good there.
Well, good thing we have a brand new coaching staff.
He says he's just getting tired of it. Scott Atkins says we got a tackle. We don't need Markel Bell now.
Thank God.
Somber says that might be the best part about taking Max. Bell is a fucking ass. Tyrone says my hope is this new offensive line coach gets him right. Christine, I'm sorry, she says Somber. We probably taken Bell in the next round. Don't put that juju on the air. Somber says Bailey. Somber. Cody Beck. I want to say what's up to Wiggly. The Wiggly 73. Welcome, Wiggly. When you jerk off, do you make eye contact with yourself in the mirror, or is that gay? Well, no, you get a mirror in front of you, and then you put a mirror behind you. That way you could watch your own ass from behind. Mm-hmm. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
I'll touch base with you later, Mr. Wiggly. Scott Atkins says this. I hope they don't put linebacker over guard tonight. Yinzer Joe, Waterboy drafted next. Somber, good reps against Bailey. Max is good. He lets people get into his chest a bit. Punch needs some work, but he's super strong. Great footwork from his soccer and basketball days. I like him.
Yeah, he has sloppy technique, but he's only played football for 3 years. And you compare it to some of the guys that have been drafted before and that have been playing football since Pee Wee that have the same similar areas of need. I'd like to think the guy who's only played for 3 years is going to be able to adapt faster to change than guys have been doing it for, over 15 years of playing the same way and having to correct it immediately getting into camp. And it's going to be a long time. They have like over a decade of experience playing tackle and offensive lineman blocking a certain way. You're just going to do this out of habit. You have a guy who's only been doing it for a short amount of time. You think it's going to be able to correct that bad habit.
You're just assuming that people have a hard time adapting. There's people that are good at making changes.
Yeah. But if you keep seeing the same thing over and over for someone who's been doing it for a long time, someone a short amount of time, you would like to think someone who's only been doing it
again, that's an assumption, and you know what you do with assumptions.
I make an ass out of Derpy.
Let's go here to Hand John. If any rookie wide receivers won't get looks from number 8, why draft one philosophy? See the logic there? Yeah, me either. Cody says Rodriguez or McCoy. Ty, Max Pregnant, Bernard. Scott Atkins says I want the Steelers to trash down with anyone except the division, planning to take anyone Dallas or Philadelphia once. Tyrone said I wish y'all heard my crash out. Mr. Babu Gum says he's a right tackle. Never mind. Jamal, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Jamal on the terrible board. My man, he says this. I was wondering about your crash out. Laugh my ass off. Right here to Ty. He says, why all my favorite made me feel better. Thanks, guys. I'm going to let it ride. Give him a chance. I said offensive line or wide receiver first 2 picks. I'm not going to be like that and keep my word. Here we go. And John says, how many 2027 picks were surrendered league-wide? Yeah, that is what I thought too. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says, did they show what Omar was doing the entire draft or just when he was on the phone with Lemon? Mr. Babu says, hope we can suck this year to get a quarterback and a very promising quarterback class next year. John says, I pulled a Howie on a guy at a bar in college. He was talking to a girl, and he got her number and went to the bathroom. He was on the phone with her, and I was driving her home. That's because she's seen She seen Terry Bongshaw. She knew it was up.
Terry Bongshaw, known painty dropper.
Bingo says yes. Says this, please God, yes. Let the Jets or Cardinals take back. There is zero chance he comes here. Scott Atkins says this, Mike. He says the best way to show up Philadelphia is beat the team when you play and build a contender and show them what's up. You haven't beat Philadelphia and Philly since the 1950s or some weird shit.
Since the goddamn Truman administration.
I mean, come on. If we should be mad about mad at Philly about anything, they give us plenty to be mad about. Christopher's best guard available, Emmanuel Pregon, Chase Besantis, Jalen Farmer, best wide receiver available, Denzel Boston, Ted Hurst, Chris Purcell, Jeremy Bernard, Chris Bell, Jacoby Lane, Skylar Bell, and Malachi Fields. Christine, breaking news, Omar finally on the phone. It's with Tomlin begging for help, but at least he is on the phone. Couple more, Mike. We're going to start getting ready to wrap things up as we're rounding third on the show. JT going live says should have gone wide receiver Cooper Jr. or talk to the Cowboy. I mean, you know what? These are all great. They're all good points. We could Cooper was there. That tells me we wanted alignment. The fact that Lemon dropped and he was even a possibility was exciting. It didn't end out working, but Omar Cooper Jr. was there. And they still didn't take him. Again, this tells me that they strongly wanted alignment. Would they have probably grabbed Lemon if they had that chance? Again, yes, probably, maybe. But at the end of the day, that was the goal going in, was getting linemen and getting on the left side of the line fixed and doing it early and getting people good enough to be able to plug and play. So Cooper Jr. was there.
Yeah, they followed their draft board.
They followed their draft board.
And probably from their internal projections did not anticipate Mekhi Lemon to fall to them. And they had their mindset of like, all right, if he's here, we're going to take Max. Mekhi Lemon's there. Ooh, he's falling. Hey, buddy, get ready. You're about to become a Pittsburgh Steeler. Philly Derpy is nowhere to be found.
Okay. Let's go on to right here where Steeler Freaks John says this. John says Colin is on the phone with his next pick, telling him to get ready. Christine, Steeler Freak, JT, getting Jeremy Bernard tonight could make or break our season 100%. John C, it is the weed. It is the weed. Mr. Babu Gum says this, these dudes that are drafted are all athletes. I have for sure concerns about Max, who's playing football for years, getting drafted in the first round. Let's go here to, he's a project. Hope it pans out is what he's saying, Mr. Babu Gum. Somber, I think he start right away, to be honest, on the right. Somber, he's solid with upside. JT, why get a tackle when we need a guard and have 3 tackles on the roster? Well, Broderick Jones is a bit of a disaster. I think you could probably start with that. Let's scoot up here. No, I'm going to go right here. Mr. Babu Gum says, sorry, I'm from Germany. My autocorrect brings in some German words. Hope you understand. That's awesome.
You're good, brother. You're good.
I want to say thank you and welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board, Mr. Babu Gum. We love having you in Germany. Steeler Freak says this. Eventually, the Steelers will hit with an O lineman. I saw a blind squirrel find a nut this morning. Scott Atkins says, as embarrassing as last night was, I still be waving my terrible towel around. Absolutely. And again, at the end of the day, I kind of knew that this was what today was going to be. I knew that people were going to be upset about that. I knew that people were going to, with what happened with Lemon, with the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Cowboys, even like the Baltimore Ravens taking Vega before us, I thought would be more of a conversation. But people really are into this wide receiver, the Lemon controversy this morning. And then again, of course, with Max, who we did take. One thing that I'm always going to come back to with this is RB really follows the draft like heavily. I just wish you guys could see some of the conversations between him and Shop in our group chat, and that's what's justifying it for me is the fact that was who he actually predicted the Steelers were going to pick at 21, and that's how it played out with every other possibility out there. So ultimately, for me personally, that's what's justifying it for me. with everything that he knows and the research he does and all that, that's who he said, I'm going to be okay with it. I am until again, I'm proven wrong, and we'll go from there. Let's scoot. Because you still haven't heard anything from Derby?
I have not heard a word from the Derpster.
All right. That's all good. No complaints.
I was going to say, are you really crying about that?
Not at all. Vegas says, LOL, Bubba. I was about to ask you what a Fertig was. I just thought that it was an autocorrect thing. Let's go to Handjohn. He says, if getting the offensive line is truly what they wanted, move to 13. Yeah. Or stay to 21 and get this guy. Again,
If you can't move up, you can't move up. If teams aren't willing to move with you, nothing you can do.
Okay, 4 was the word Mr. Bubba was talking about. Tyrone says, here we go. Omar, please cook today. I still got faith. We got 4 picks today. All before number 100, guys. Again, 33 through 100. Today, this is going to be rounds 2 and 3. The Steelers have 4 picks at 53, 76, 85, and 99. A couple more. Christopher says, guys, this is the day Omar Khan will start cooking. Watch him go to work. I hope you're right. Mark Collins, great seeing you on the terrible board. He says, we need a starting offensive lineman, not some bum off the street person. This 21 pick is a joke. He will never be a starting tackle. They better draft an inside linebacker or a left guard. Let's scoot up here to, hey, what's up, Echelon Films? Always great seeing you on the terrible board. Welcome back. He says this, Echelon says, I am going to say it because people were scared to say, this pick was effing horrible. Omar Khan in the first round, you have 12 picks and you don't move up and get at least the Panthers. What a goofy. Vegas is Derpy eating his second breakfast right before lunch.
What about the 11sies?
That is that's the most accurate information. Everything else has been opinion today. Everything has been opinion.
Yeah, he was chomping in my ear with some chicken wings last night.
Yeah, he was.
Kept blaring like the broadcast in the background, which is a big no-no on live streams. Like, you are doing like everything so wrong.
Let's go right here to John. John says this, I'm pissed and venting on a Steelers podcast and will joust and defend the other team on another with ease. Been there. Let's go to Bingo. Bingo says Derpy was arrested for exposing himself to an Eagles fan. That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but probably. I wouldn't doubt it. He exposed himself to the world right here on the show before, so that would not surprise me one bit. Bingo. Vegas says Derpy exposed his triple D's to the crowd. Echelon Films, Omar Khan is scary as fuck. If you're telling me we are genuinely about to have 12 new players and not to mention undrafted free agents, what a waste. Chop, what's going on, Chop? Always great seeing you on the board, brother. Hope you had a great day at the draft. He, of course, is RB's partner in crime. Jim Chop says, what happens when we trade 2 firsts for 2027 and 2028 for a quarterback, but Jones has a broken neck? You aren't getting one in free agency, so this pick makes an insane amount of sense. Chopper says, Echelon says, we just drafted Okafor 2.0, and nobody will admit it. John says this. Something in German, so there you go. There's something for you. And JT Live says this, I think what's most upsetting is picking a guy who was ranked in the 40s on the boards and taking him, especially when we have Dylan Cook and Jones to fight out for the left. Listen, Roger Jones had a hard time fighting himself out for the left.
Yeah.
But point taken. Listen, no. That's why I always say, Mike, this is what we're here. This is what we're here for. I want everybody to get their voices out, whether your opinion's one way or another. This is a point that we make on this show, and I'm glad that it is this way, because if everybody had the same opinion, then what is that? Who cares then?
It's just me talking to myself.
Let's go right here. Ty says Max will be fine. At least we finna protect our quarterback, and that's kind of an important thing. And also Vegas has his safety word for when he goes over to Europe. You need a safety word. I'm just going to put it out there.
Logan Hyman.
Tortilla.
Or whatever the fuck it was in Euro trip.
It's what he has on the board right there.
Yeah, I know. I can never pronounce it. I always want to say.
I don't know if it is or not. It just looked like it. Tortilla says the odds Broderick comes back healthy and good or astronomical. I agree. And finally, Echelon Film says this: the online has more questions now. The offensive line has more questions now than ever. I hear that we're possibly moving Fatanu to left guard. What the F are we doing? Bad look for McCarthy. Somber says this doesn't sound like Broderick will play in 2026. I couldn't agree more. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com. I didn't have any articles written today about the new pick because I knew it'll be hot and heavy today. But what we do have it over there, all Ryan and I social media links. We have a link to the merch store and my final mock draft and RB's final mock draft, where both of us nailed the first pick of the draft. Mad Max. I credit RB turning me on to this guy. Like I said, him and another Steelers scout turned me onto this guy. I was not a big fan early on in the process of this pick, but I liked it. RB has a whole write-up of why Mad Max was picked in the first round. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
Mike, go ahead and give the results, would you, for the poll? I think there was 77 total votes today. What are the results?
Okay, I'm
poll?
ending the poll right now. We had 75 votes. It is tabulating. And, of course, YouTube hates me and wants to take forever and ever and ever.
Why is that always something over on your end? What's
I don't know. I ended the poll, and the poll disappeared on
All right,
me.
here's the results. 82%. I don't. What's the positions, Mike? The first position was wide receiver. 82%. What's the next position?
I had I don't know. I can't see.
Look at you. What is going on with you?
Okay, wide receiver at 80%, other at 14%, D line at 5%, and quarterback at 1%.
So that's all accumulated. Okay, because I got 82, 1%, 4%, and 13. So yours is up to date. Read that again, Mike.
Wide receiver 80%, other at 14%, D line 5%, and cornerback 1%. 79 of y'all voted. Thank you.
And that is, of course, the what the viewers prefer tonight. What you feel that the primary needs are for the Steelers in this day 2 of the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tonight's 7 o'clock start is the draft. Rounds 2 and 3. Somber 6'6", 320, big boy. Echelon says first round, grade D minus. John says Con looked like his wife found his porno stash. And let me grab Christine here, and then we are going to get into this trivia question of the day. She says, bless Broderick's heart. I think he has way more hurt than people thought, though, in his football career might be over. I'm sorry. I wish him the best. Don't want to see him end up hurt worse. Right there with you. I don't want to see anybody have their career screwed up. But at the end of the day, I think the writing's been on the wall with Broderick Jones for a few seasons now. That's just kind of where we be. Here we go, guys. Let's get into the trivia question of the day. Mike, this is our last draft trivia question. I got to be honest.
God.
I am so ready to move on beyond that, guys. Here's the question of the day. Mike, put on your thinking caps. Everybody else on the board, everybody at home, here we go. Question of the day. This is a draft question. The NFL, the 2024 NFL draft, Mike, set a record for consecutive offensive players to start the draft. How many offensive players were selected to start that draft back in 2024, just 2 years ago? Mike, in Detroit, the question again, the 2024 NFL draft set a record for consecutive offensive players to start the draft. How many offensive players were selected? If you know it, throw it up on the board. If you have a guess, throw it up on the board. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday. 11:30 a.m. to 2:30, sometimes 3 o'clock p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
Mike, the question is, the 2024 NFL draft set a record for consecutive offensive players selected to start the draft. How many players were selected in that run?
I remember watching this happen.
Echelon says 19. Tortilla says 12. JT says 13. Cody says Conway Twitty. That's like the booby answer. It's always like letter D, selection D. It's like, is it A, 19? Is it B, 13? Is it 12? Or is it D, Conway Twitty?
Rashard Mendenhall.
Rashard Mendenhall. Jim Chop, he says 14 players taken consecutive. Christine is saying 22 or 23, but there were like 13 or 14 in a row. You're right. I think 23 was the total amount in that draft that year in the first round. But the first run of players is the longest stretch they've ever had at the beginning of a draft in 2024. Mike, what is your thought process?
I remember watching this happen because I was sitting there, I think around like the 8th or 9th pick going, holy shit, that's a lot of offensive players. God, I want to say like 13 or 14. Fuck it, let's go 14.
Gonna go 14?
Let's go 14.
All right, let's lock you into place here, Mike. I'm gonna put you in.
For real? Damn, it must be true.
Must be true, Snoop.
All right, here we go. Locked in on 14. All right, here we go. Question of the day. Christine is also saying 14 as well. Here we go. Question of the day, guys. The 2024 NFL draft set a record for consecutive offensive players to start the draft. Question is, how many offensive players were selected to start that draft? I'll give you a hint. Somebody got it right. Somebody got it right. So if that helps you, if it doesn't, do what you want with that. Let me grab a couple messages here. Give people a little bit more of an opportunity. Do throw your answer up, even if it's a guess, to see how close you could get. Ronald says we need to double dip on UConn prospects. Select Skylar Bell in the round 3, then scoop up Joe Fagnagno in round 6. John says this. He says you can run, but you can't hide. Mad Max panicking. Ty is now saying 14. Echelon Films saying a lot of impact players in 2024 as well. Can't complain. I can't disagree with you on that. And Echelon Films, a lot of people now are coming in with 14. So maybe Google helped out a little bit, but all the 14s are coming in at the same time. But let's do this one more time. We'll read it and let's get the answer out there, guys. The 2024 NFL draft set a record for consecutive offensive players to start the draft. How many offensive players were selected, Mike? It is 14, as everybody all of a sudden just started saying on the board. But that is, in fact, correct, guys. 14 is the amount of offensive players that started in a row with no defensive players taken in 2024, and they did have 23 out of the 32 picks, guys, were offensive players in that draft. 14 is the answer.
Yeah, I think what Chop said 14, and I just like, I'm going to trust him.
Yeah,
and piggyback off of him.
That's usually a good call, guys. Great job if you did get it. Hey, Georgiana, always great seeing Georgiana on the board. Says Ryan, Vanilla Thunder. Ty, I just agree with Mike. Mike was just agreeing with Chop. Ty was just agreeing with Mike.
We're all a bunch of goddamn lemmings right now.
Let's go. Christine says Jane Daniels was second off the board. That was a great pick. Cody's saying Waylon Jennings. That was a great pick and great day for him, of course, is what Christine is saying. Let's go here to Ty. Okay, we did get that. Tortilla. Fuck, how could I have let me know we were all Googling. Yeah, that's not the goal, obviously. We want to see if people know or guesses, but you know what? It all works out. Waylon Jennings, Cody says this. Mike. Lemon, I hate Omar, is Echelon Films, what they're saying. Again, guys, rounds 2 and 3 tonight, 7:00 p.m. That is picks 33 through 100. Your Pittsburgh Steelers own 4 of those picks. They own 53, 76, 85, and 99. We won't seeds, guys, tomorrow before day 3. So I just want to throw it out there that day 3 is a noon start tomorrow. And that will be the remaining picks that will take you from rounds 4 through 7. And we will be back first thing Monday morning to get into all this and so much more, go over every pick. I can't wait to see what kind of mood we're in, how people are thinking and what they're, how it played out for them. Did it go the way that you wanted to? Yeah. So Monday is going to be very interesting, Mike. Round one brought plenty of that. So I guarantee that we're going to get more on round 2 through 7. I do want to say thank you so much to Georgianne for the super chat. She says, "Go Steelers, Georgianne." We appreciate that. It all goes right back into the show. You will certainly see that. Thank you. Cody says, "Caleb Williams." Christine, I can't even remember who went First, old memory. Eshlin says Omar finna draft Carson Beck and ruin everything. Once again, he says, let me grab a couple more. Drew Aller, of course. Cody is saying to Mike Tyrone, let's cook today, man. Omar have that fire in his eyes. Christine, I think Drake May was after him, right?
Yep,
Cody
they went quarterbacks 1, 2, and 3.
Cody says Deontay Johnson. Christine says, oh, right. That's right. Duh. Thanks, Cody. A few things I do want to say, Mike. There is going to be a lot, especially tonight. Again, the draft tomorrow. The draft. The Penguins back at it tomorrow. The Pirates do the weekend in a new series with Milwaukee. Mike, you might be needing something to take the edge off with this weekend. I hope not, but if you do stop and get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner beer, guys. It is now available in Giant Eagle in 12 and 6-packs and wherever cases are sold. The people of Duquesne Pilsner that are up at the draft, if you are up there today, stop by and visit them. They always helping us out in promotion type ways. We want to show the thanks back and the love back to them. So do grab yourself some Duquesne Pilsner. And guess what? If you you don't drink that much, even swinging by their social media and just hitting the follow and all that stuff will certainly help out, guys. So do help our friends out at Duquesne Pilsner. We always have it on tap here at the studio. Mike made right here in Pittsburgh. And it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
What else do we got, guys? Don't stop there. If you are checking out social media pages, you are checking out the internet, do check us out, guys. We're on Facebook. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. And also, if you haven't had the chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, the share, or leave a comment at all. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We couldn't thank you more. We're certainly greatly appreciative. Yes. Thank you. Let's grab a couple more messages here. John says, Colin is at the hospital getting an organ donor transplant after Howie got done with him. Christopher said this, we were going to party our asses off this weekend because of what Omar picks. JT, trading up to get Boston or grabbing Bernard today will make me believe in Omar again. Get Roger some help, some more weapons. Christine says, hair of the dog. Milk of the cow, Cody is saying, guys. So again, is that going to help us out if we go and get one of these receivers, if we move up today and get somebody early in the second round? Do we all calm down? And again, listen, I'm not blaming people for being excitable. Again, this is why we do what we do, and I want to hear every version of everybody's opinion. So again, guys, we do thank everybody for everything today. Every opinion certainly valued here at the Two Dum Yinzers. That's what it's all about. John says if they pick a center tonight, they're fucking with us. Yeah,
I want to see it. We're going to move Zach Frazier to left tackle.
We're going to have Zach Frazier playing tight end and a new guy playing center, and it's just going to be a whole thing. Also, I do want to say this before we do wrap up. Buccos, they do start a new series today against the Brewers. This goes through the weekend. Today is game 1 of 3. It is Paul Skeens Day. So the Pirates will be at it tonight, 7:40, game 1 in Milwaukee. Also, the Penguins tomorrow might try to save their series as they're down 3-0 to the Philadelphia Flyers in the first round of the NHL playoffs. Game 4 tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the other football team here in Pittsburgh, they'll be hosting Greenville Triumph. That game is tomorrow at 7 at home. And finally, the UFL, let's just say that you're kind of NFL'd out. Maybe your team didn't get the picks they wanted, but you're ready to watch some football. You could do that tonight because at 8:00, DC plays at Birmingham. In the UFL, that is the DC Defenders at the Birmingham Stallions. That's an 8:00 start in the UFL. Also, tomorrow, the St. Louis Battlehawks travel to Orlando. That game is 7:00. And then 2 games on Sunday, Columbus at Houston. That's of noon. And then Sunday in the later afternoon, Louisville at Dallas. That is a 3:00 game. This is week 5, Mike. The UFL season is halfway over. And that just tells us that we're getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer to the NFL. And that's what we all want to hear ultimately at the end of the day. So there's a little bit of American football on for you to watch this weekend. To switch maybe back and forth if, again, our team doesn't get who we like in the draft. Switch over, check out some football. Steelers say this if they pick Carter. No, okay, we got that. Christine says this. Hell no, that's the only move to make. Rooney don't want to riot in Pitt. You know what? And there's a lot of people down there. It could be a pretty ugly riot. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Mike, your thoughts? What are we going for tonight?
Wide receivers definitely coming off the board at some point for the Steelers. Wouldn't surprise me, cornerback and safety as well.
right.
I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to grade this draft class until 2029. We got to wait 3 years to see how this is going to go. Hopefully, we made the right move. Time will tell. Time will tell.
Cody's heavily into drafting Clint Torres, of course.
Clint Torres, great underrated player. Kind of hard to find film on.
And also, you can never find it. You can never find
it. Clint Torres is never around. When do you need Clint?
Let's go here. Tyrone says, "This great show, you bastards. Thanks for making me feel better driving home, putting on my DK. I'm a Steeler fan till I die." Max, absolutely. Welcome, Max. We got this, dude. Good or bad, that's life no matter what you're into. There's always going to be good. There's always going to be bad. But you know what? Right here, we could always we got each other's back here in Steeler Nation, baby. You know that. Christine says, "I'm petty. I'm be mad about Omar's incompetence for the rest of my life. I don't care if Max ends up being the best right tackle to ever play in the NFL." And then, you know what? Again, Mike, we expected that. I expect a lot of emotion today. You've seen it on social media last night and bleeding in. So again, I can't wait to see what everybody has to say on Monday. I'm pretty excited about that already. Cody says it's not hard to find Clint Torres. Not everybody agrees with you, Cody, but there you go. I also, Mike, go ahead. You look like you had something.
No.
You look like you had Clint Torres on the tip of your tongue. What was you going to say?
I did. It left the tip of my tongue. It's slipping out of my fingers. It's kind of hard.
All right. He says, "Hey, Mike, I bet you can find Pamela Henderson. That should not be hard for you to find." Also, I do want to say also a few other things before we do wrap it up for the week, guys. You guys were awesome this week. It's been a thrill preparing and getting ready to get into this draft right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, guys. So much fun. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out. Thank you for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We couldn't, we wouldn't do it without you. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board, for always keeping things interesting here on the show. You guys are the lifeblood. You really are. We always say that. We always mean it. We thank you guys. We value greatly. Thank you so much. And also everybody at home, maybe you're listening, watching at the gym, in the car, listening at the workplace, or just at home on your big TV. Thank you too. We want to give big thanks. Thank you to everybody for making this off-season work and special. And again, Mike, we do this the whole year around. So we're hitting drafts and we're hitting free agency and everything that we do here. We couldn't thank you enough for being here with us. So thank you, Steeler Nation. The Yinzerverse spins because of you. It works because of you. Again, in Pittsburgh today, my day 2 of the NFL draft picks, 33 through 100. 7 o'clock start tonight. You're not going to want to miss that. Again, we'll be back first thing Monday morning to get into all this and so much more and look at the next step of where these Pittsburgh Steelers are moving forward and getting ready for the big 2026 season. We have OTA starting here in a couple weeks. All kind of things still happening for our Steelers. And before you know it, it's going to be May. So we're not that far off, guys. We're not that far off. I swear to you, we'll be there before you know it. Mike, thoughts today? What you got going on?
I'm gonna take a little rest here and get ready to watch round 2, man. I can't wait. I might cut some grass though.
All right,
because we're gonna get the blood flowing and get ready to watch the draft.
John says Clitoris can take a lot of pressure off and won't fold. There you go, everybody. I do want to say again, thank you so much. We'll be back Monday at our regular time. Everybody, make sure you have a safe weekend. I'm sure everybody will keep up with all the Steelers stuff, but we will as well. Again, we'll all meet up right here on Monday morning to get into all that and so much more. Also, maybe I'm not going to bring this up yet, but maybe there may be a surprise coming real soon here on the show. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say much more beyond that. Just let that simmer, and then I'll give you some more information on that next week. Other than that, Mike, I think that we have everything. Is there anything that I'm forgetting that you could think of?
No, we covered it all and then some more.
All right, guys, I do want to say thank you one more time. Last night, Chop in the house. I think he might be going back down today. He said he was a little exhausted, but he said he might be going down later today. Asked me if I wanted to go with him. We will see on that. Also, Derpy is there right now as we speak. I'm sure eating something. Wouldn't surprise me, but there you go. RB, he's trying to simmer down a little bit, of course. But everybody, It was a blast, Mike.
It was a blast. It
was
was
a
a good
blast.
time. It was a great time.
I thought RB was going to be on yelling today, man. He because like everybody's opinionated today. Everybody has their feelings, and everybody has their opinion. And we were getting it this morning, and I thought, RB's going to come on and jump down some throats, but he stayed away. But we'll get him back early next week. Hear what everybody has to say about this NFL draft and so much more, guys. Mike, I'm going to swing around to you. Speak now, forever hold your peace, my friend. All right, guys, do check out the Buccos over the weekend if you can. Check out the Penguins as they are up against the wall. They need to win tomorrow night. That is a 8 o'clock start. And again, the day 2 and day 3 of the NFL draft today and tomorrow. We hope everybody has a safe weekend. Be safe, behave. And we'll see you on Monday, guys. For Chop, for RB, for Finch, for Derpy, for Mike, myself, and the 2 Dum Yinzers. Have a great weekend and enjoy the draft. Bye-bye.